Welcome on in, the runner, the one, the only, SavageWizzrobe.
Oh, welcome in, everyone, and thank you so much, Ian, as well. So, today we are going to do a Metroid Prime 2 Echoes randomizer. So, they call the randomizer, as you can see down there, they call it Randovania. So that's the specific program, and this is Metroid Prime 2 Echoes for the Nintendo GameCube. I'm actually playing on Wii, of course, using some special magic. Let's just say that, called Nintendo. And so, for marathon safety, I am going to save occasionally during this because I have heard that Nintendo can crash, although it's never personally happened to me at a bad point. But who knows? Marathon luck and Friday the 13th. So yeah, I guess. Ready to get started here, so I guess I'll give a countdown to you guys, right? Alright, 3, 2, 1, go! So yes, as I was saying, this is Metroid Prime 2 Echoes for the Nintendo GameCube, originally, specifically a randomizer. And why is this not? Okay, there we go. That's supposed to skip. So basically, we are Samus Aran. We landed on this planet called Aether, which has been struck by a meteor filled with Phazon, and then the meteor actually split Aether into two, basically. So light world and a dark world as well, which the dark world is of course called Dark Aether. So the whole reason why Samus was sent here is she was tasked with finding some Federation troopers who had gone missing here. They're dead, and they were attacked by these Darkling creatures from Dark Aether called the Ing. And then Samus ends up getting caught in this battle between the Ing as well as the Luminoth of the Light World, which are our friends. And furthermore, as far as the story goes, the Ing have weakened the Light World to the point of collapse, and there's a specific item that I'm looking for which will validate the run for story purposes, and that would be the energy transfer module. So hopefully I can find that, because the energy transfer module is ultimately the thing that would, end the game by transferring the stolen planetary energy back to the light world from the dark world, which is, of course, at the Sky Temple, the last location of the game, and hence the name of the Sky Temple keys. So, of course, there are 9 Sky Temple keys that I'm looking for in the specific seed. So that's one thing. And then, furthermore, that's one of the settings I use. And then I also play with something called progressive suits, which is that prog suits that you might see there. So what that means is there are 2 suit upgrades in this game. There's the dark suit and the light suit, and what they do, they don't actually reduce damage from enemy attacks, but what they do, on the other hand, is they reduce the damage that you take in the dark world. So with Varia suit, you take 6 damage per second in the dark world, unless you're in a safe zone, which we'll see those too, like a safe little bubble. The dark suit reduces that to 1.2 energy per second that you're losing, and then the light suit completely negates it. And furthermore, you might have seen that I've been rolling a lot as a form of movement. Rolling is pretty fast, and then sometimes you see me do dashes off of scannable targets like this. And right there's our first item check. I can't get that right now. Of course, not within logic, of course, but okay, so it appears to be that's a missile. So missiles are a dime a dozen in this game. So in total, there are 119 items that are randomized. 50 of them are missiles. So yeah, it's a lot, almost half, to say the least. So I better mention as well that this randomizer, it does have a logic. So this particular logic setting I'm playing with, it doesn't require any tricks to beat, but at the same time, I am going to be using tricks and glitches to speed things up a bit when those become relevant. So there's also, speaking of a little trick, there's a fast cycle you can do right here with this gate. I'll see if I can get it. Nope, the enemy was in the way. That's fine though. This is fine. And then there's another pretty well-known trick in this room, to duplicate this item in this box here. I'll go for this a few times, see if I can get it. But basically you do a thing called a slope jump against that boot-shaped rock, like I just did there. And then that is the secret launcher. And then what you can do is you can trigger that cutscene. So that jump avoids this cutscene trigger, and then the box respawns again. So that means I get another secret launcher out of that, which is pretty awesome, honestly. Because secret launcher is a good item to find in Randomizer. And here there's another slope jump that I did to get up here nice and fast. Faster than going around the room. So yeah, what that did for me is that dupe just gave me few more missiles to play around with in the early game. So it speeds things up a little bit, less missile farming and the like. So logically speaking, at that crate, there are only 2 items that can happen with these, or that can appear there with these settings, and they have to either be regular missiles or seeker missiles. And seeker missiles is the better of the two, because a seeker missile will allow you to open the red doors that you see throughout the world, as well as purple doors, which are pretty important, as well as a few other things that they lock as well. So that's a pretty good start to this siege, having seeker missiles right away. So here you might see me I just did there a little bit of a scan dash, as they call it, at that elevator. Oh yeah, and I need to mark that I got seekers. It's another thing. I'm bad at it sometimes, but hey. And now we're in Great Temple. There's a save station here, but furthermore, there's an item underneath there, which is just a missile, so that's fine. I'm just going to continue on rolling as a ball, because rolling as a ball is pretty fast, but it gets even faster once we get the boost ball upgrade later on. So here I'm going to use... this is the Dark Alpha Splinter fight. So here I'm going to use some missiles as well as charge shots to take care of these guys pretty quickly. And sometimes you can even hit a couple of them at once with a charge beam or missile shot if you do it right. So this is Alpha Splinter. He actually is quite good at predicting your movements, believe it or not. So, but he doesn't last long before he gets possessed by an Ing. Right over here. And then he becomes Dark Alpha Splinter. Just like that. And then furthermore, speaking of the Ing, what happened in the story of this game as well is originally the Samus lost all of her items at the beginning of the game. So in the vanilla game you start out with actually several items like missiles, boost ball, spider ball, space jump as well. Those all get stolen from you by respective powerful Ing that you have to later on defeat. Okay, so that's Dark Alpha Splinter dead pretty quick. And that's Violet Translator. So with this item, what we can do is we can open up certain gates with violet holograms on them, as well as start to scan hints, which are present in this randomizer in a lot of different places. Like in particular, there's a hint up in this room, which is so say hello to Umos. He's right here. He's one of the Luminoth, which are basically these moth-like people. And that is another translator right there. So that's a Cobalt Translator, and that will be handy for later on in the Sanctuary Fortress. Okay, Annihilator Beam can be found in Agon Waste Mine Shaft. That's an important hint. So mark off Cobalt Translator there as well. So yeah, what Cobalt Translator is useful in the area of Sanctuary Fortress, which I should mention the 3 areas in this game. So there's Agon Waste, Torvus Bog, and Sanctuary Fortress, as well as Temple Grounds, which are the main locations of the Light World. Usually I refer to them as the 3 main areas as Agon, Torvus, and Sank, just to be fast, because Sanctuary takes too long to say. Oh yeah, and there's an item here too, gotta check that. That's a missile, don't need that. Cool. So yeah, already we're getting some pretty interesting items, to say the least. Items that we don't see like until quite a bit later in the game. So naturally, like the way the routing for this works, or the route works, is basically I will be heading to Agon thanks to having Violet Translator now, and on the way I can pick up a couple items too. So that's good. And a hint or two. And there's supposed to be a cutscene here. I tried to skip it there, but...
Do we have time for a couple quick donations?
Oh, I think so. I'm just going around collecting items. Go right ahead.
Fantastic. We've got $19 from Darius the Snow saying, "Let's go, Savage. Let's save the light and bring down the darkness." With logic, of course.
Of course. And glitches. Thank you so much, Darius, by the way. You're awesome.
We've also got Nilsson with $20 saying, "Good luck, Savage."
Oh, thank you too, Nilsson. Okay, so right over here, there's this gate right here that you can open with Violet Translator, and furthermore, there's a dead Luminoth body here, but a special one, because this one has a hint to a certain item in the Dark World version of this room, in what's called a Flying In Cache, which is normally locked by the Dark Visor. So I just read that hint there in the room called a Cursed Lake, and it just has like an expansion, so that item's not important, so that's fine. Oh, and it looks like we got main power bombs. Cool stuff. So the power bombs can do a lot in this game. Oh, here we go. Hear the words of O'Lear, last sentinel of the Fortress Temple. May they serve you well. And we'll see O'Lear later. So get hyped for that. He's kind of a meme in this game, to say the least. So anyways, here we are in Agon Waste. So at this point, I actually have a few different places to go. Oh yeah, right. Where was I talking about? Oh yeah, power bombs. Power bombs are really good because they not only open yellow doors and destroy a lot of obstacles, but they're also really good for taking down a lot of early game bosses incredibly fast. So if you see me go up against an early game boss at this point, all I have to say is don't blink. That's what I'll say. Don't blink. Okay, so I'll just do a safety save here, just in case, like, there is softlock potential, as well as, the possibility of, Nintendo crashing, so, need to be careful of that. Kind of bad if this game, this thing were to crash, of course. Yeah, so, anyways, here we are in Agon Waste, which is, like, the desert type area of Aether here, and there's an item up there. I can't really see what it is just yet, but that item is locked by one of the main boss of this area called a Morbus. So there are basically like three kind of main guardians or bosses that you see in Echoes, and those would be a Morbus, which are like these worms, Chica, which is like a larva that's later an adult, who's the guardian of Torvus, and then Quadraxis, or Quad for short, who's the guardian of Sank. So there are definitely a few guardians, and they're usually one of the trollier places for us to find an item. There is one of the guardians, especially Chica, because that's a pretty long fight, and a fight where it's really easy to lose time as well. So here we just have a few space pirates. Nothing too crazy, and there's a power bombable thing back there for later that I want to blow up. Just because I saw a power bomb up there. Okay, and then there's this item in here that I'm going to go check. Right in this room, if I go just along the other side here, just to see what it is. Okay, this is Amber Translator, so that's pretty good. So Amber Translator is this translator you find for Agon Waste. Now I can scan these Amber holograms and open up Amber Gates, which is useful for both hints as well as an item, which is, in fact, is an item I can get right nearby, believe it or not. Oh yeah, and by the way, you might have just saw for a sec that the screen kind of went blue there. So I do have a slight content warning on for this game for, like, bright lights and stuff, because, there are, like, some blue trees like these that if you walk through, they make the screen, like, really bright like that, so just something to be mindful of, you know. Okay, so there's a hint up here that I'm going to check out. Dark Beam can be found in Dark Agon Waste. Okay, that's actually really good to know. So the Dark Beam, as well as the hint for the Annihilator Beam that we saw before, those are going to make up some of the beam weapons, and of course, a special thing about this particular Metroid game compared to others is most beams, aside from this default power beam that I use here, actually use ammo. So in this particular game, there's dark and light ammo. And, yeah, your beams use ammo. So here for this particular fight, this is Alpha Sandigger, but later he gets possessed into Bomb Guardian. As in, like, not too much later here. But don't blink, because he's probably going to be... gone very quickly with the power bomb. And I sure told you that power bombs take out early game bosses super quickly. And he was just Missile Expansion Guardian, hooray. So fortunately, I have a power bomb to get out of there too. Because if I didn't, I would actually be soft locked there. Oh wait! I had normal bombs anyways. Never mind. Sometimes I forget I have normal bombs. It happens. So over here, there's another item and hint we can grab as well. So I'll get the hint, do a scan dash off it, and that item over there actually looks pretty important. Emerald Translator can be found in Communication Area. Okay, cool. So there's the Space Jump Boots, an extremely useful movement item in this game. Also, forgot to check off bombs earlier there. So Space Jump Boots are really good because they allow you to do a double jump. And you use that for a ton of different things in this game, especially for scan dashes, especially when you want to cross large gaps and the like. Yeah, I'll just go through here because I don't have any beams yet, aside from power beam, of course. Okay, so next, because I got a hint that dark beam is in Dark Agon Waste, I'm gonna head there next because dark beam is actually an incredibly, in my opinion, probably the best beam upgrade in the game, without a doubt. And for the simple reason that, well, you can actually kill lots of things very quickly with it, especially if you charge it and then fire a missile. Because for those of you who are familiar with other Metroid games, like, it behaves a lot like the ice beam, essentially, because you can freeze enemies and then you can use a missile to take care of them incredibly quickly, which is super good. Okay, so now I'm gonna head over towards the Dark World, so we may have a time to squeeze in a donation or two here.
We are still waiting on more donations. I would like to say that please remember, whenever you do donate, do your best to see if you can put it towards one of our incentives or bid wars, help unlock bonus games and cool runner showcases, or put your own personal stamp on a run. You can see all of our active incentives and their progress on the donation page under the Put This Towards drop-down.
I hope you didn't blink there too, because those guys just died to another power bomb. See? Power bombs are really good. And thank you, Ian, too. So, here's another hint right here. Dark Agon Key can be found in, I believe that was Storage G. So actually right here, there's a bit of a puzzle skip with this portal. So what you have to do is you have to bomb the slot, and then the game expects you to bomb these 3 red things to activate this portal. But funny thing is, this is Echoes, and Echoes is pretty broken. In fact, of the Metroid Prime games, I would say it's the most broken. And what you can do is, with that slope jump that I just did there, you can bomb this last one here, and it solves the puzzle completely. And that's very fast, so instead of having to bomb 3 things, we only need to bomb 1. So here, because I have a hint to go over to Dark Agon Waste here, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Oh yeah, and Ian, I had better let you know, and as well as everyone in chat right now too, that the Echoes community, we love our memes, just like many speedrunning communities do. And in particular, there's a particular meme. So by the way, did you know that Dark Aether's atmosphere is dangerous? But did you also know that some safe zones must be shot to function? I had no idea. Thank you, Echoes.
Gasp.
I know, right? Shocking. I learned something new today.
Just goes to show, no matter how long you've been running, you can still learn.
Pretty much. Also, fun fact, there is like a hidden beacon over there that you can shoot. And there's also a hidden item up there too that I want to see what that is. That's a power bomb expansion. Don't particularly need it. So, continuing on through here. So I'm just gonna... So I take damage pretty quickly in the Dark World here, at a rate of 6 energy per second. Although the save room over here, it actually fully refills all my energy. So, I kind of abuse that here a little bit, to say the least. And another save is not a bad idea too. Yeah, so in this next room, so ideally you want to stay into safe zones, but you might notice I actually go around the safe zone here. There's a good reason for that. That safe zone in particular triggers a warrior ing, and that you have to fight, and that fight's slow, so we don't do it. We don't have time for that. Another thing too that I want to mention here, you see me like fire at those, they're called blade pods, I think, over there. So what happened in this particular game, the drop system is biased so that you use your resources. So what I mean by that is if you're really low on a particular resource, so it could be health, beam ammo, missiles, etc., then the game is biased to give you more of that particular resources. So I kind of use that to manipulate the kind of drops that I get, so to get, like, say, bigger energy drops and whatnot. So because I have space jump, I can go over here, no problem. And I'm going to head over here towards Agon Temple. Or rather, Dark Agon Temple, because now we're in Dark Agon Wastes, as the dark atmosphere implies. So right over here, there's an item that I can get in a room that we like to call the Broom Closet. It's not called the Broom Closet, it's actually called Trial Tunnels. So right there was an application of the scan dash to, like, move fast throughout the dark atmosphere so I don't take as much damage. Oh, and knee tank, nice. So that's definitely good. Energy tanks help for, you know, not dying, which is kind of easy to do in the Dark World if you don't have any suits. So I'm just going to do a couple more scan dashes here to get back rather quickly as well. And then I'm going to fight this next boss in a rather interesting way. So this boss is a Jump Guardian, and the lore of him is he was basically the Ing who stole our space jump boots in the beginning of the game. So, and it looks like, as you can see, it looks like I'm just firing at a statue. And you might be wondering, oh, what is Savage doing? So it turns out that this isn't all for nothing, because Jump Guardian's hitbox is actually invisible, and it's right in front of me. So what I'm doing is I'm actually damaging Jump Guardian before the fight even begins, which will lower his health considerably. And you can even do this until he is basically one shot from being dead, which is the ideal, I would say. So I'm just going to use up the rest of my missiles here. I pretty much won't be needing missiles, and he'll give me some missiles anyways after I beat him. So final charge shot, and then going into this safe zone triggers the fight, and you might notice he's going to be at very low health. And don't blink, by the way. And that's the fight. That's Jump Guardian right there. I always love that trick, honestly. So, but he's actually Dark Beam Guardian, which is actually really good. Cool stuff. Okay, so we got Dark Beam, which is, in my opinion, the single best beam of the game. Because, as I said before, it allows for defeating a lot of enemies really quickly. Definitely a good thing, if you ask me. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to head back a little bit and check out a few other things that I might have missed before. So in particular, I might head back to Temple Grounds and check out some of that. So I'm just going to make my way back to the Light World part of Agon Wastes and see what I'm going to do from there. I also remembered a hint from earlier that said Annihilator Beam was in this room called Mineshaft, which I should also check out as well while I'm here. Though to be fair, I don't need it immediately, so So basically, the way the beams work in this game is... Oh, nice power bomb. I didn't mean to use that power bomb. So, basically the way the beams work is Dark Beam uses 1 dark ammo per shot, Light Beam uses 1 light ammo per shot, and Annihilator uses 1 dark and 1 light per shot. So, Annihilator can guzzle your ammo very, very quickly, to say the least. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a strategy that is... This was actually a feature that was added into the randomizer. If you go to a save room like this, and you say no, you have the option of warping back to the ship. Which is definitely very good. And the reason why I'm going back to Temple Grounds right now in particular is actually quite simple. So, the reason being is because upon defeating Bomb and Jump Guardian and getting their items... What happens is in Temple Grounds, 2 more items spawn that weren't there before. So in particular, Dark Missile Trooper, who's right down here, right at the very beginning. And I guess I'll powerbomb him or something. Yeah, we'll powerbomb him. And he's gone. Blink and you miss it.
Powerbombed him through a table.
Right? And then there's going to be another item down here as well. And then furthermore, I will get to showcase some of the out-of-bounds stuff that you can do in this game as well, which is very exciting. At least in my opinion, what makes this game like a really good speed game. Because the out-of-bounds in this game is quite interesting, weird, and fun. And oddly beautiful, too. Okay, come on, Samus, get into the hole. Please. Please. Thank you. Okay, so that's what I like to call a useless key there. So the 3 guardians, they're locked by these temple keys. So I'll mark off that Ing Hive key anyways. So the Ing Hive is basically Dark Sanctuary Fortress. And that locks Quadraxis, you would think, but you can also get to the Quadraxis with just Annihilator Beam, because there are Annihilator doors that block the way. Or, with a trick, you can get to Quadraxis as well. Something called a Bomb Space Jump, which you might see me do later, or BSJ for short. Okay, so I saved there as well because Out of Bounds does carry a slight risk of soft locking the game, especially if you don't know what you're doing, which I know what I'm doing. But still.
That makes one of us.
Right? Exactly. So, get ready for some, I want to say wizardry here, because after all, I am a Wizzrobe. Okay, that item over there was a missile, right? Yeah, I remember. So yeah, what you do for this out of bounds, you go up here, you jump over this route, onto this rock. I tried. It's actually kind of finicky, but this out of bounds in particular is actually pretty useful, because this, in the vanilla game, lets you get power bombs really early on. And I'm going to use this to check an item without using my precious power bombs and having to farm them and whatnot. Okay, so I'm on the rock. Now we jump towards this tree. So now you can see I'm partially out of bounds, and I just wriggle myself out, and now I'm out of bounds. So, basically the way the out of bounds works in this game, as well as all the other Prime games actually, is every room's inside of a box. Inside the box is normal physics. Outside the box is this stuff called Aether, which happens to be the same name as this planet we're on, but it's different. Just think of it as like the Void. So what I can do is in the Aether that surrounds the box of these rooms, I can actually jump inside and out of it to scale a room. As you see here, and these are not easy jumps either. These are like 1/20th of a second jumps. So I'm just going to do this till I get on top of the door there. And what I have to do while out of bounds is I have to transition the room. And that's Light Beam. Okay, cool. Good thing I checked that. So now to get back in bounds, well, I'll do something called a ceiling warp. So I positioned the mini-map on the wrong room to weaken the collision in this room, and then I just warped to the ceiling. Okay, so I did that so that I would save some of my power bombs in case this item was not useful, but it was useful. So there's light beam. So now I have like the essential toolkit more or less for most of the game, because with dark and light beam by themselves, you can do a lot. And I mean a lot. Like, I don't know, open dark and light beam doors, which are everywhere, open dark and light portals, that sort of thing. Furthermore, I got a hint that there was this emerald translator right there. That will be useful for Torvusbog when I get there. And also there's a hint up here. So I'm going to mark off the emerald translator there. So far this backtrack to Temple Grounds has been pretty useful. Okay, so in the Dark World version of that room, there's just an expansion, so that's fine. Okay, do I have a power bomb for over there? I do not. Okay, do I want to farm for one? Maybe. That, or I could always just get it later, too. Okay, maybe not. I'll worry about that area later. So, we went past that area earlier on in the game, and remember that gate I went under? Well, it closed, and it's permanently closed, and the only way past is to destroy it. So, to go that way, I'm either going to need a power bomb or screw attack. So now back to the question, do I go that way now? I don't think so. I'll put it off till later, because there are going to be more items I can get over there. So this will be making a play that I call a dense play, as in checking when you're faced with a decision, as oftentimes in Randomizer as you are. Sometimes you're faced with the decision of, okay, do I check this one out of the way item and hope that's something really good? Or do I check this area where the items are really tightly packed? And do I hope that I find a lot of items there, or have a greater chance of finding an item there? So those are the kinds of things that I think about a lot when playing pretty much any randomizer, especially including Echo's Rando.
I make dense decisions too, but not that kind.
Yeah, of course, right? And sometimes you have to, think, okay, is it going to be faster to check this location now? Or is it going to be faster later when I maybe have more items to do so with, right? Or when I can maybe get more items that are there. Okay, so I can actually check this item up here now, which that appears to be a missile. So that's good. So that item, by the way, is locked behind a Morbus. The boss of this area, as well as Echo Visor. So with that, we say a Morbus is half dead. A movement system can be found in Agon Waste. Thanks, game. I think I found it already. That might have been the space jump boots. Yes, that hint was a little late to the party, I must admit. So now I'm going to go and make a play based off another hint that I got, which was the location of Annihilator Beam, which I had found was from a hint was in, what's the room called? Mineshaft. And while I'm there too, I can check a couple more items thanks to having Light Beam now, as well as Power Bombs. And there are 3 items over there that I can grab as well. So it's pretty worth it. Especially when one of them is a major upgrade. So I'm going to go over here. So here is Annihilator Beam. I'm just going to take care of all these hill bugs, or try to. Because they can get in your way just like that. Oh, oops. So right here I'm doing something called a double bomb jump. It's actually an intended mechanic in the game as well. I'm not specifically sure if the game counts it as being part of no tricks logic. So, speaking of that, I should mention the logic of this randomizer a bit, because there are actually several different settings. So this particular seat I'm playing on is no tricks. But there are other difficulty settings that do include tricks, like there's, I believe there's trivial, easy, normal, hard, etc. That sort of thing. Hyper mode as well. What is that? That's an energy tank, right? Yeah, that's an energy tank. Okay, so I don't need that. There is a hint over here as well. And furthermore, there's a certain other difficulty setting that I like to play a lot called minimal checking, which is basically kind of like a no-logic type of randomizer. Ooh, okay, nice. Oh, and will you look at that? The really important item that I was missing was the screw attack in GFMC compounds, so I'm going to have to go back and get that later, which is preferably as early as possible. Okay, so there's that item as well. So that item needs both light beam and power bombs to get. Yeah, so remember that time when I said, oh, I got a power bomb, maybe I should go back and check one item? Well, that one item that I should have went back to check was actually screw attack. So, yeah, which screw attack is an incredibly important item in this game, to say the least. It's definitely the most broken item in this whole game, without a doubt. It allows you to go out of bounds in a lot of rooms. But you did see a bit of out of bounds earlier.
I'm pretty sure the old trick of the one item you didn't check is the best one is a randomizer staple from my time in Mario RPG.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a common thing that does happen, that's for sure. Okay, so with that information now, that I now have, I think what I might do, I might check out a bit of the pirate base first. I don't want to go to Sank just yet, because screw attack is going to be incredibly useful in Sank. But I can still do a lot here in Agon, so I might as well do it. So in particular, I'm going to head over to the pirate base, which is... So the space pirates, they're in this game as well. Including this game does debut Dark Samus, also, which she's in there, and we'll see her at least once. Probably 2 times, possibly 3 times, depending on how things go. So I'm checking this particular area because I know this area is a dense area. So there are like, how many items here? A lot. Let's just say that, a lot of items.
Can I squeeze in a quick donation while we're here?
Yeah, you should be alright.
Fantastic. We've got $30 from Pupsons, who says, Trans Lifeline has been there for me when I really needed it. I'm glad to be giving back to them now that I can. Sending love from a non-binary capybara. Capybara are like the most chill things ever, and thank you so much for that super generous donation.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. Anyways, where were we? Oh yeah, right, so there's this room, and I did go through that fight pretty fast, mostly thanks to having Dark Beam. So by the way, right there I did something called a bomb space jump, or I just call it BSJ, and then there's a scan dash here. Oh, I messed it up, so I'll just have to do it again. So right. So this is for an item, of course, which is the whole motivation for doing this. So what I do is I get up against a wall, and I trigger something called an insta-unmorph, and I use a bomb to get a bit more height. And there's a scan dash across there that prevents me from having to like shoot down all these things, which is a bit faster. And there's this item up here which I'm going to grab, and that's a Dark Agon key. So that's 1/3 of the puzzle to fight Amorbus is those Dark Agon keys. So I'll just mark that off here. Oh, I don't have a Dark Corvus key yet. Not yet. Okay, and then here I'm going to go through the pirate base mostly normally, and I think this is a good time for me to explain the concept of what are called room layers as well. So basically what a layer is in this game is it refers to like a room state, which like, so say you go into a room the first time, there's a certain group of enemies there, and say when you go another time, there's another group of enemies. That means there are 2 layers, or like 2 states of the room. And the reason why they're called layers instead of states is because layers can overlap. So, and in particular, sometimes when layers overlap, they can potentially crash the game as well. So there are certain areas where I want to trigger layers earlier rather than later, so I don't get 2 layers overlapping that could crash. Which is particularly in the room called Torvus Grove and Torvus Bog, which might see that room. That's for sure. Okay, so I'm just headed through this is the pirate base. I'm mostly going through here normally. Although, what has been added in the randomizer as well is you can actually go through this place in reverse. I just decided to go through this particular way because the routing just makes a bit more sense that way with what I have, so I will do it this way. Okay, so I'll just go over here, roll around a bit. And there are going to be several items in this place as well. So, I think I should mention as well, like, there's a certain item, so I wanted to shout out someone in particular. So, he would have been here helping me with commentary today, but unfortunately he couldn't make it, so I'm talking about Sal the Dragon. So, Sal and I had this thing going on where he said, where I agreed to basically search my best for the energy transfer module item, which looks like a blue orb. So if you see that, get hype, because that is the run validation item.
Is that when we start yelling orb?
Yes. Yes, it is. Or run validated.
I am so ready.
Because honestly, I really want to find that. If I can validate this run in the marathon, that would be amazing. And Sal would be proud of me as well. So yeah, shouts to my good buddy Sal the Dragon. Yeah, so here's the power of Dark Beam. So I should mention as well in this particular game, there's basically, because there's a whole theme of dark and light going on, there are of course both dark and light creatures, and they are always vulnerable to the opposite energy type. So Dark Beam is really effective against light world creatures, and vice versa. So you generally see that sort of trope happening throughout the game. Is that, and also there's an item up there that I should check. That's a Power Bomb expansion, which I probably want, just because they are useful. Especially because I can only hold 2 Power Bombs right now. I would much like it if I could hold like 3 or 4. Or 5 by the end of this. Given how useful power bombs are. So there's just a bit of a puzzle here. Just lowering to make the staircase. Pretty straightforward, although something a little interesting you can do in this particular room that was an oversight, I don't know, because echoes, is that you don't have to complete this puzzle to reach the door on the opposite side. And I will demonstrate that. So if you just have 1 in the middle, and then if you have 2 on the left like this... Oh, oops. I messed it up. So yeah. A little bit of time lost there, but whatever. So if you just have that... Jump up here and actually jump towards this corner, you can get up here anyways without solving the whole puzzle. And I always enjoy that. That's fun. And there's also an item behind a green door over there. Of course, a green door requires a super missile to open, so I don't have that yet. So I'll have to leave that item behind for now. But that's okay, because I can't fully clear out Agon right now anyhow. So I'm just gonna make my way through this little vent shaft puzzle, and might take a couple bits of intentional damage from the lasers here. Because it's fast. Like, especially there. That hurts, though. Okay. Just gonna make my way through that. And I'll hit the save room for the health refill, because I am going to be going to the Dark World again pretty soon. Not super soon, but pretty soon. And actually, I realize I might want to come back here with Screw Attack after that, but anyways. So yeah, there's an item in that room there that's called... that room's called Sand Processing. Sand Processing. Imagine speaking. And here we go. Here's Dark Samus 1. Don't blink, by the way. You might miss it. Just saying. Wait, where'd she go? Dark Samus, where are you? Okay, maybe you won't miss it. Well, Okay, I guess I'm fighting her like a semi-normal way. So, by the way, she doesn't... I was supposed to kill her with a power bomb there, but Annihilator works just as well. So, yeah, there's Dark Samus 1. She's oddly, like, extremely vulnerable to Annihilator Beam, which, of course, you aren't supposed to have at this point in the game. This is actually the Vanilla Dark Beam room, as they call it. So whenever you hear the term vanilla from me, it just means this is where the item is in the original game, kind of thing. And by the way, if you go to this room without having Dark Beam in the randomizer, well, you soft lock for, I hope, pretty obvious reasons, because the room behind you actually closes as a Dark Beam door. So if you go in too far, you're stuck in there. Okay, that item there is an expansion. That's also a missile, so don't need to worry about that. I guess I'll make my way over to this side of Dark Agon Waste now, because there are going to be a few items over here as well. So currently, also, I'm looking for specific items that suggest a play over to the other regions of the game. So namely, Sanctuary Fortress, as well as Torvus Bog, which currently I'm not too inclined to go to either, but that can change. Oh yeah, also I did get another Dark Agon key. Oh, and you know what that is up there? Orb!
Orb!
So, run validated. ETM acquired. Cell, I hope you're proud of me. So yeah, that's the ETM. It's a plot item, and it literally does nothing in the game but validate your run. So I always like to pick that up whenever I see it. Okay, that's an energy tank, but I won't go down there because that's a rather long fight. Not too worth it for an energy tank, because after all, there are 14 in the game. So can always find another one. Or of course, a suit upgrade would be nice too. Okay, so here I think what I might want to do is actually see what I can do here. I can probably check out the Vanilla Light Beam room. That's what I can do. And then I can probably make my way back to Temple Grounds for that screw attack that I know for a fact is there. I'm just gonna make a little trip over here to this room called Feeding Pit, which there actually is another item underneath this, what they call Dark Water here, which, another property of Light Suit, other than completely negating Dark World atmosphere damage, is Light Suit also protects you from Dark Water and allows you to enter it. And it also allows you to enter beams of light, so there's that too. And that's a key as well. So let's... Oh, wow, look at this. All 3 Dark Agon keys already. You know what this means? This means that I might be fighting a Morbus, you guys. So get hyped for that.
Orbus.
A Morbus. Yeah, a Morbus.
Orbus.
So he's the main boss of the Agon region here. Specifically Dark Agon. Okay, first I just need to make my way over to a place where I won't die, of course. So, by the way, I didn't mention this, but I use that space pirate's dead body there to get a slope jump off of him and get up here without doing a puzzle.
I'm sure he won't mind.
Yeah, I'm sure he won't mind either. F to pay respects for that dead space pirate, by the way. So I'm actually going to make my way back over here, and then I'm going to use a nearby save room to warp back to Temple Grounds, grab that screw attack that I found earlier, and do some more cleanup over there, because with that screw attack, it does suggest a play to Sanctuary Fortress, as well as it does suggest me to also use Out of Bounds. And plus, with the screw attack, I won't need to search for another item, Grapple Beam, which screw attack completely obsoletes Grapple Beam. Which I should mention as well, in the randomizer there is also an option to play with progressive grapple to screw attack, which I don't really use myself, but hey, it's nice, right? So I'm not in too much of a hurry to fight a Morbus, so I'll just leave Agon for now and start cleaning up other checks that might be faster. Or that otherwise I know hold useful items. Oh yeah, right. I just remembered too. There's a hint up here that I want to get. So there's this dead Luminoth body. Okay, in Defiled Shrine, which is the Dark World version of the landing site, there's a Morph Ball system, which to me either says it has to be Boost Ball or Spider Ball. So either one is a very important item too. So from that hint alone, that tells me that I am going to need... Logically, I'm going to need Super Missiles as well as Dark Visor. So I'm looking for those items next. So that would be good if I could find those next. If you have any time to fit in donations, now would be a good time. This is just some backtracking here.
Alright, we're still waiting to see if we can fill out bonus game number 2 at 290 out of 500 for Sonic R 100%. In the meantime, I would like to mention and just remind folks that Fastest First Fall Festival is raising money for Trans Lifeline. The Trans Lifeline Micro Grants program offers grants for legal name changes, updated name and gender markers on IDs and passports, immigration documents, and more. To learn more about this program, including how to apply, please visit www.translifeline.org/microgrants.
Alright, so you may have seen me just like dip into that portal there and back out. Well, there was a good reason for that, and the reason is actually pretty simple, believe it or not. So the whole reason why I did that and my motivation there, I'll just blow up this gate, is I wanted to check an item that was like kind of far off. I couldn't get it yet because I don't have Dark Suit in particular, which that area, if you go through that area without Dirt Suit, you're going to be hurting a lot because there are these Inkclaw enemies that spew a dark toxic gas, and that does a lot of damage. But Dark Suit completely negates that damage, so that's why I didn't go to get it. And it was just a missile anyways, so it's not really worth getting for a missile. Okay, so here we are back in the room called GFMC Compound, and up here from a hint, there's Screw Attack, which is, of course, as I mentioned before, I would consider it the most broken item in the game, bar none. Actually, with this, I might be able to check another item. Okay, but maybe not. What I can do, though, is I can check a hint over here. So for those of you who are familiar with the vanilla game, this particular gate, it appears as an Emerald Translator gate instead of a Violet. But it's actually programmed as a Violet gate. It's really weird. It's like a visual oddity or glitch. I don't know. And if you have to ask why in this game, the reason why is because echoes. If you don't know. Ooh, okay. Progressive Suit can be found in Dark Agon Wastes and Cache 2. Cool. So that was a useful hint. So one of my suits is over there, which would be Dark Suit. So with the progressive suits, the first one that I grab will give me Dark Suit, and then the second one will give me Light Suit. Simple as that. So in the meantime, though, I'm going to take a little detour over here. Check one item real quick. Okay, that item is a Sky Temple key, so I will have to come back here. That's okay. So that's the first Sky Temple key of 9 that we need to collect. And the Sky Temple keys, if I didn't mention before, they do open up the final area of the game, the Sky Temple, which is where the final boss, Emperor Ing, awaits. Okay, so clearly I have to go back to Dark Agon Waste, which is alright. I did kind of see this coming, so all good. So anyways, what I'm going to do is I'm going to head through Great Temple because I have all the translators, and I can open all the translator gates up there. No problem. And that will also allow me to quickly go to other rooms, like the room known as Meeting Grounds and the like. So I can't really do a whole lot there, but I can at least open up a quick path for later, so that would be good. Also can get this missile I saw earlier. As far as missiles go, they're definitely like a dime a dozen in this game, but at the same time, they were useful enough until a certain point. I'd say until like 50 or so of them, they start losing their use, but because you still need missiles to fire like seeker missiles as well as super missiles and the like. I think I'm out of power bombs too, so I'm going to refill out the ship here as well. So back to Dorkagon Wastes, and I guess while I'm there I might fight a Morbus, because that's a pretty quick fight, especially with what I have, Light Beam and the like, and by that time I'll have Dark Suit as well. So if I recall right, I think the progressive suit was in Cache 2, I think, so that's probably... I think that room is by, what's it called? Phase on Site. It's basically a pretty out-of-the-way room that happens to have a useful item, of course, because of the way the seat is. But all good.
Because echoes. Because
echoes, yes. By the way, special shouts to Diceron for that FFC emote, because echoes. So one of my favorite ones to use when I watch the stream. And shouts to Diceron as well. He also goes by the name DCR. And he's actually one of my main motivations for getting into running this game as well. It's by watching DCR stream a bunch of echoes and echoes randomizer and the like. Okay, actually I can go over here. So I think in Cache 2, if I remember right, I do have the names of most of the rooms in this game memorized, if you can believe me. Which you can probably believe me at this rate. So I believe in Cache 2 is the room next to, what's it called, Phase on Site. So, and there's something important over there, which is, of course, a suit. So I can't pass that up. I always like to see at least one of Dark Suit or Light Suit in a seed. So I'll definitely take care of that. I'm not sure if I want to fight a Morbus right this second, however, but definitely want to do that, and I think I might want to head to Sanctuary Fortress after this. Maybe. At least dip the first few items. Rather, first couple items, maybe. Because I can't actually get too many of the items without Spider Ball and the like, so... So unfortunately, it's possible that my Spider Ball could be Dark Visor locked. Though, I won't know that for a fact until I actually check the room called Defiled Shrine. Okay, so I'll head over... Oh, and I missed that. Not quite enough height, but that's okay. Of course, Screw Attack does help with making that jump a little bit as well. Okay, and also fun fact, when you Screw Attack in this game, the game does assume you have Dark Suit when you have Screw Attack. I don't know, because echoes. And, well, simple enough. What happens when you Screw Attack is you take Dark Suit damage when you Screw Attack, so it's definitely nice to be in Screw Attack when I still have Verisuit and when I'm navigating the Dark World here. So here I can skip a puzzle just by jumping on top of this Blade Pod there. Relatively easy skip to do. Super fast. So now I'm going to head over to this room called Phase on Site. A pretty big room, mind you. And oops, I fell in the Phase on. That's alright. It's just a little slow. That's alright. Okay, so I'll head over here, and then this item, logically speaking, requires, I believe, both Screw Attack and Annihilator Beam. So, right there I did a jump, and this is Dark Suit. So, Dark Suit, I actually really like the aesthetics of, because it actually has these, if you know the shoulder orbs on the various suit, which are pretty classic to Metroid. Dark Suit instead has like these shoulder fans. It's a pretty cool looking suit, and I like the rustic look of it as well. So, plus it's going to be very useful for later on as well. So I'm going to make my way over, probably back over to the Light World now, and I think I'm going to check out a bit of Sanctuary Fortress and see what's there. On the way, using the Agon elevator, which connects over here. So I am going to have to do a slightly bit of a convoluted way to get to get around it, but that's alright. And I can check another couple items on the way as well. So it works out pretty well. So if you have any donations or the like, now would be a pretty good time.
We're still waiting for more at the moment. And I want to remind folks that when you do make a donation, be sure to check out our incentives and bid wars. Help unlock bonus games, cool runner showcases, or just put your own personal stamp on a run. You can see all of our active incentives and their progress on the donation page under the Put This Towards drop-down.
Okay, so over here, the reason why I'm coming over here again is actually pretty simple. There's actually a hint that now opened up here. So there's this dead Luminoth body here that wasn't there before. I can actually scan it between the little bars here as well, if I do that. Okay, and then the Battleground in cache just contains an expansion. It's funny because when I mentioned that in cache, in one of my practice runs for this game that I did, I had Spider Ball in that in cache and I forgot about it, and I ended up searching the entire rest of the game for Spider Ball, and I probably lost like about an hour because I did that. Whereas, oh wait, I remembered. Okay, there's Battleground in cache, and like. There's Spider Ball, and like and then I was there, and I got Spider Ball, and I facepalmed really hard. Let's just say that it happens. Happens to the best of us too. Anyhow, over here, thanks to Screw Attack and Power Bombs, if I have enough, I can grab this item over here, which appears to be just a missile. Yep, just a missile. Hashtag just a missile, now trending on Twitter. By the way. Just kidding. So I'm gonna go ahead and head over to this room now, which also has an item, but moreover, there's the Sanctuary elevator over here, which I also will dip, at least, for a little bit. And it's possible that a useful item could be over here, and I don't know it yet. But we'll see. Actually, now that I think about it too, there's still a Morbus I can check out, so I'm not completely out of options yet. If this ends up being nothing, I'll probably end up checking a Morbus, the rest of the Dark Agon stuff. Because given how early I got those Dark Agon keys, it would probably suggest to play at a Morbus. So by the way, here we are in Sanctuary Fortress, or Sank. It's honestly a really cool area of the game. Like, I really like the digital aesthetic and everything. It's also has pretty heckin' good music too. Okay, so there's a Sky Temple key there. And I'll check the Dark World briefly here as well. Because there are two items in the Dark World that I can at the very least see what they are, and I can grab one of them. So that one item happens to be something like Dark Visor. It's definitely good. That is a missile, I think, yeah. Sure looks like a missile. That is a key of some sort. And that was actually a pretty nice light beam shot right there too. Just get rid of that Metroid using the charged dark beam and missile trick that I've been talking about. Okay, so there we go. There's that. Not any, literally no other item is in logic for Sanctuary currently, so I'm not going to worry about Sanctuary Fortress too much. I just like to make that dip, just in case there's something good there, like super missiles, for example, which, again, I definitely need. Actually, there is a hint here that I forgot to get, so I'm just going to go grab that. Thanks to having Cobalt Translator. Okay, now I know where Spider Ball is. So, with that Spider Ball, that's actually going to open up a ton of Sanctuary Fortress. So therefore, that means that the item in Defiled Shrine... The item in Defiled Shrine is actually Boost Ball. So Boost Ball is Dark Visor locked in the seed, which is interesting, to say the least. And I hope I don't die. Okay, good. So, good thing I decided to go back for that hint, because it ended up being a useful hint. I was thinking about checking Phase on Grounds anyways, as well. So again, it's a pretty out-of-the-way item to be grabbing, but I guess this is the seed of out-of-the-way items being useful, huh?
If it's really hard to get to, go get it.
Yes, of course. So I'm gonna also use that feature of the randomizer here again, which is simply the fact that you can basically save warp back to the ship at any time from a save room. So I'm gonna use that. And from that hint about having Spider Ball, that actually means I can clear out a lot of Sanctuary Fortress currently, and my health is actually quite low, so... Which, the enemies in Sanctuary, they do quite a bit of damage. So... I'll have to be a little bit careful, but... It's nothing too crazy, nothing I can't handle. Okay, so I'm gonna save there again, just for safety, as well as get a little ammo refill. Use some screw tack to go decently fast through there. So I have to think of what the fastest way to get to where I want to go is. Okay. So I think I want to go through the Great Temple, probably. There's an elevator over in this direction here. And on the way I can open up a shortcut to Torvus for later. Which I have no items to suggest going to Torvus immediately as well. So like no, in particular, items like Super Missile or Boost Ball. Or another item that you might see called Gravity Boost, which is basically, for those of you who are familiar with Metroid and the Gravity Suit upgrade, which is the ability that lets you move freely in water as if it was air. That's basically, the Gravity Boost is basically the Gravity Suit, but of Echoes. So, aside from, like, being a jetpack as well. So here I'm just going to open up this path, just in case I need to come back here quickly later. Can't really do a whole heck of a lot that way, though, so... Phase on Grounds is where I must go. For Spider Balls there. Okay, so far the seed has not gone too badly. It's because I'm finding I feel like I'm finding the major upgrades pretty quickly, and typically my average for seeds is like about 3 hours, give or take. So, but lately some of my seeds have been pretty fast, like around the 2.5 hour mark on average. So that's a pretty encouraging sign. So we might not be here too long. Who knows? Who knows? And of course, the run is valid too, thanks to getting ETM before.
I'll be knocking on wood just in case.
A good idea. I even heard that too, which is the best thing.
That was the goal.
Wonder if you heard mine. Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
So thanks to Screw Attack, we can get across that gap, and then there's Spider Ball, which definitely means I'm going to be going to Sanctuary Fortress. So Spider Ball's that one right there. And from that Spider Ball, I also know where Boost Ball is. Again, it's in Defiled Shrine, which is the Dark World version of the landing site, like the room with the ship, in other words. Okay, so here I'm going to do this like quick little jump on top of that Blade Pod again, because there's a thing with the Metroid Prime games, like the Metroid Prime trilogy games in particular. There are standable spots. If an object looks like you can stand on it, chances are you probably can. Such is the case with that. Okay, right, I can't go that way because I don't have Dark Visor. Yay. So I must go this way instead. That's alright. Okay, so now with that progressive suit in tow, as well as Spider Ball, the next thing that logically makes sense to do, according to the upgrades that I have, would be to check out Sanctuary Fortress a bit more in depth. There is actually, I'm actually pretty close to one of the Sanctuary Fortress elevators, but to get through from the front actually requires Dark Visor, which I don't have, so yeah, that's kind of a little bit of a problem, to say the least. But and I went the wrong way. Even I sometimes get lost in this room, by the way, especially when all the translator gates are down, like so. Because all the entrances, they literally look the same. And the reason why is, of course, because echoes. Sensing a theme yet?
Hashtag just a missile.
Yeah, right? Hashtag just a missile. Okay, so what was I... Oh, yeah, right. Back to Sanctuary, which, unfortunately, the quickest way there is through Agon Waste again. So I just have to head back to Agon Waste. I also feel like I should check a Morbus just because I got the keys so early in Logic, so that idea just makes sense to do, and it's going to be a pretty quick fight as well, and I can clean up a couple of the Dark Agon items on the way. So it's not a big deal. So you'll get to see the Morbus fight, which is definitely an exciting thing, to say the least. And then possibly the other Guardians if they happen to have useful things. But we'll just see. Okay, so I'll go ahead over here and check out some of these. Okay, so by the way, right here is why Screw Attack is such a broken item in the game, because basically you can do this. You can Screw Attack into a Morph Ball hole, and then it can put you out of bounds. I'm not actually going to go out of bounds here, just kind of showcase this. Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, just like that. you can do that in the game. In a lot of different rooms too, and as such, this makes Echoes a pretty broken speed game, to say the least. Okay, anyways, let's see. So here I'm gonna head to, so my next focus currently is to head to, I guess I'll head to Dark Agon, and then, because there are a couple more items I can clean up over there. Especially out of Morbus, because I feel like I just have this, like, sixth sense that a Morbus has to have an important item. So I'll just see.
Well, is he difficult and or out of the way?
A little on the out of the way side, but not particularly difficult. Especially not difficult to do fast either. But while I'm here and before I head to Sanctuary and clean it out, it seems like a good idea. Were you saying something there for a sec?
Just that out of the way seems to be the theme.
Yeah, this is the theme with the seed, I believe. Who knows? There are two other major guardians, Chica and Quad, so they could be required too, you know. And I'm still looking for like items like Super Missile, Dark Visor, especially. So, if Morbus happens to have one of those two things, or Light Suit even, that's a good idea. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do a little loop around here. So as you can clearly see, the Dark Suit is really coming into play right here, because now you notice my energy is draining a lot slower. Precisely 1.2 energy per second. Okay, I'll save her just to replenish some energy, because this seed so far has been starving me a little bit on the energy tanks, but that's okay. It's not like I don't know what I'm doing. In fact, I do, because there are a lot of like interesting challenge runs that are possible in this particular game that I have done as well. Like, I don't know, there's like a low percent, which is basically get 6 items and beat the game and no energy tanks. I've done something like that before, so having low energy is not really an issue to me at all. So that item back there was just a missile, so I'm just going to go ahead and fight a Morbus. I feel like I should get this Power Bomb expansion, though. It's on the way enough, and Power Bombs are kind of hard to come by, so it's worth it. Of course, I saw that quite a bit earlier, too. So now I'm going to make my way back to Dark Agon Temple, and then check a Morbus, see what he might have. Especially if what he has is something important. Which I have to think could be. It could potentially be something like a Sky Temple key, or the like, that I need. Which, I might as well get it now, because again, these keys were so early in Logic. It made sense, and I got them so early on. Okay, so here's a Morbus. A Morbus is basically 3 worms, right here. So for the first little bit, I'm just gonna focus on using some missiles here. I'm actually intentionally saving some light ammo for later on in this fight. So this is not like, if I had super missiles right now, I would be using super missiles here. Or if I had more light ammo, I would use light beam. But there is a good reason why I'm doing it this way, and you'll see. So the first phase is when the worms jump out of the water, and the second phase is when they're attached onto the dark sphere in the middle. And also, he eats me too, and then you bomb him in the mouth. So at each phase of this fight, like, it adds an additional worm. So here, now there are 2 worms jumping around. I'm trying to juggle them a little bit there. And of course one landed right on top of me, but that's fine. And then in particular, during this next phase, there's a certain attack that I want to avoid a Morbus doing, which is... I call it like the party laser. I'm not exactly sure what the Echoes speedrunning community calls it. I've heard it called by like a couple different names. But I call it the party laser, and what it is it's this purple beam that a Morbus casts. But only if there are only if there are 2 worms or more on the sphere at a time. So I intentionally try and defeat one of the worms as quickly as possible to prevent that attack from starting up in the first place. Okay, now, looks like I'm pretty good on light ammo right now, so I might use a bit of that. Okay, the number I'm looking for is 15 here for my light ammo. Okay, and I'll just defeat this last, get rid of that last worm with just power beam there. Okay, and then here's where there are now 3 worms, and I need to move quickly to have them avoid doing that laser, which takes forever, and you can't actually damage them during it. So yeah, it's important that I get rid of them as soon as possible. Yeah, so now there's only 1 worm left. So now Morbus can no longer do that very slow, time-wasting attack. And now my light ammo is all gone, but a nice feature of this game, too, is even when you run out of ammo for a beam, you can still fire the beam if you charge it up. And this item is just a missile expansion. So, unfortunately, in this seed, Morbus had nothing. But that's okay. So here I'm going to do a trick to use the dark beam and snuff out that crystal. And that actually makes it a little bit higher, so that when I jump on it, I can actually just jump directly out of the room. So that's a fun little trick you can do. Really easy. Okay, so now I'll head back to the light world, and then we're going to start going to Sanctuary Fortress. And I'd better collect some light ammo while I'm here as well. So you can clearly see the light ammo drops I got were pretty good there, mainly because this... I talked about before, this game has a biased drop system, in the sense that it encourages you to use your resources, because when you're low on, say, light ammo, you're usually going to get more light ammo back, and so on, or missiles, or power bombs, or what have you. Even energy. So now we're going to go over and head to Sanctuary Fortress, which is the next densest location for items as well. I believe I can actually full clear Sanctuary Fortress, aside from maybe 1 item. So, pretty good. Oh, maybe more than 1 item, because to actually full clear it, I will need Echo Visor as well as Echo Visor and Light Suit. There we go. Because there are a couple items that are locked by Echo Visor in the logic, technically, so... I'm just gonna ignore all these flying pirates here. Head directly over to the Sanctuary Fortress. I'm trying not to blind you guys with these trees here. So yeah. Okay. Of course, I don't have the luxury of boost ball, so we'll have to do some of the slow rolling for a bit. That's okay, though. Because once I get boost ball, things are going to start to go a heck of a lot faster, to say the least. Before getting that, I would need to get super missiles and dark visor. And I can also route that in with checking the Sky Temple key hints that are later on as well. So, just like in the vanilla game, there's at the Sky Temple gateway, you can check for locations to the 9 Sky Temple keys. The same thing is true in this randomizer as well. It actually will tell me the location of the exact room where the Sky Temple key is. It won't tell me how many there are, however, so... Or it won't tell me if there are multiple items in that room. Oh, actually, I can get this now. Okay, so I'm going to do a trick to mostly skip a puzzle here, so that's called an instant morph. So I did that to grab that spider ball track really early there. I'm just going to mark that. Where am I? Okay, there I am. So thanks to Spider Ball, now I can go right over that. and start heading up, cleaning out Sanctuary Fortress, which, Ian, I have a special note for you, in particular.
Oh?
Have you heard about O'Lear?
O'Lear, you say?
Have you heard the words of O'Lear?
I feel like we're heading for a Darth Plagueis the Wise reference.
I don't know. But yeah, either way, O'Lear's great. What is that? That is Echo Visor back there. Okay, so I just found out I have to fight Spider Guardian probably, so that's cool to know. I'll just slip through that. Yeah, so anyways, I'm headed in the direction of O'Lear right now, so... And he is, O'Lear is actually a kind of a meme in the Echo speedrunning community for a simple reason, because, there's actually a certain category of this game. It's, called, like, 255%, where you actually can duplicate the item that O'Lear gives you the... Wow, game. Nice hint. That was the first item I found. Where O'Lear gives you the Cobalt Translator. You can actually dupe the Cobalt Translator, which involves talking to O'Lear a total of at least 150 times. And the first thing he says to you is always, hear the words of O'Lear, last sentinel of the Fortress Temple. May they serve you well. And that's kind of where the meme originated from. To say the least. So yeah, be on the lookout for O'Lear, because O'Lear's fun. Okay, so might as well save here, because I feel like I haven't saved in a bit. Just in case of the rare Nintendo crash, which probably won't happen, but still.
I feel like if we duplicated O'Lear 150 times, we'd hear all of his words.
Right? And furthermore, there's also a really cool emote that a cool FFC emote that I want to shout out Dracona for submitting it to FFC, or also as he's known, DF. So he basically cropped like O'Lear's like O'Lear's pose during when he says, hear the words of O'Lear, that sort of thing. So we cropped the pose, because the pose is actually, like, really awesome, honestly. Like, a really cool pose. I'll showcase it just for fun, of course, but, because... Gotta love O'Lear. So here I'm just solving a puzzle. So yeah, that rubble right there, like, if you scan that with a scan visor, it says that's made of Dentium, which is vulnerable to power bombs, but to save a power bomb, I just said, okay, I'm gonna screw tack it instead. Which screw tack works, for whatever reason. And that makes... Because echoes, yes. Okay, so here's a room where I have to be kind of careful because I don't have boost ball. So this quad here is going to do a certain move, and I have to take out his main body there with bombs. You can also take out the main body there with boost ball, but I don't have boost ball, so I had to wait for that specific thing. And there I just used a bit of dark and light beam first to take care of the shield that he had, which was like dark beam colored. And then Dark Beam to deal a bit more damage because he's a light world creature. Okay, so here we are. Here's where O'Lear is, right? Right over here. Literally right over here. So let's see what item he gives me. Okay, he gives me a power bomb expansion. Okay, Umos' reward for returning to Sanctuary Energies of Missile Expansion. Okay, that's good, because that's one of the trolliest locations in the game. But anyway, here's the pose. Hear the words of O'Lear, last sentinel of the Fortress Temple. May they serve you well. See, I told you it was an awesome pose. Sal, I hope you're proud of me for that too. And that's literally what the FFC emote looks like. It just looks like O'Lear doing that pose. So I hope you enjoyed that.
The words of O'Lear, and he just starts rattling off various words. Pencil. Cupcake.
I've also heard like the meme of where the meme got extended to like, hear the words of O'Lear, last sentinel of the fortress temple. May they serve you well, such that you may find a key lost to our cause, or something along those lines. Or I like to bend it to like, so that you may find a progression item lost to our cause, that sort of thing. So, I like my memes. What do I say? So here, this is Spider Guardian, a fairly notorious boss when playing this game casually, but I actually have Spider Ball when facing him, so it's not that bad. Which you're not supposed to have. Oh, I have just made a mistake. Okay. I have just made a mistake. I don't know. Because I don't have Boost Ball. Yay. Okay, so this is where I did put on another thing for safety, so I'm just gonna die here and go back to my previous save. So that what I used there was called menu mod. Menu mod there, which was like a practice tool for echoes. I didn't want to use it, but just in case I happen to like do something silly like that, then that's where it comes into play. I was so excited to fight Spider Guardian, and with the hearing the words of O'Lear, that I actually forgot to, realize that I actually needed Boost Ball to beat Spider Guardian there. Whoops. Good thing I saved, that's all I can say. Oh, and I know what this is. This is my light suit right here. So that's the second progressive suit, and now we have light suit, which is the best suit.
I always say in my RPG streams, you haven't saved enough.
Yes, right? Okay, that's an interesting hint right there. So that hint said the grapple swing can be found in main research of Sanctuary Fortress. So the thing is, grapple swing does not appear in this game. It actually appears in Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. So if there's a thing where if you see those hints like that, what that means, it actually means something else. That means that there's a major upgrade in that room. Not necessarily that it's not grapple swing, but it's definitely a major upgrade. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bit of a trick to open up this portal. There we go, easy every time. Get an instamorph into the bomb slot. So that's going to be useful to check a couple items later. Okay, and here I also have the option of potentially fighting Quadraxis, but I pretty much need Boost Ball for Quadraxis, so can't really do that. And of course, here's more abuse of standable spots with this particular puzzle. Whoops, okay, let's do that again. There we go. It's a really good visual cue to where to lay those bombs for that. Drop down here, because of course there is going to be an item at the top as well. Oh, I thought that wasn't going to make it for a sec. But, hey, it's good to be wrong sometimes, you know. And this is a Sky Temple key. Cool stuff, so that makes 2. Another thing that I forgot to mention that completely didn't cross my mind at all was a simple fact that in the randomizer you can toggle these other quality of life tweaks. In particular, I have fast item pickups on. So in the vanilla game, when you pick up an item, you hear like the classic like Metroid jingle, and then a text box pops up. But here you just like get the item, and then it doesn't interrupt the flow of the game at all, which is very nice, may I add. Okay, so here we have Dark Pirate Commandos, which are nasty to fight unless you do this. Dark Beam and... a charged Dark Beam and a missile takes them out instantly. Just like that. Speaking of missiles, there's a missile over there too, so I don't particularly need that. So back through the portal. I just wanted to check those 2 items. that were in that room called Aerial Training Site, I believe. And then the Light World version here is called Watch Station. So, yeah, and by the way, another thing about Screw Attack is Screw Attack's a spinning buzzball of death. And also, there's this room called Grand Abyss, and there's a pretty notorious trick, now obsolete, that I'm going to try and go for. Just for... Yeah, so what I tried to do there was called Grand Abyss Dash. So, like, earlier on in the history of Metroid Prime 2 speedrunning, that dash was like a reset point. Because, simple enough, that is actually a one-shot trick. Okay, that's an energy tank there. I can't get that because I don't have Boost Ball, but at least I could see what it was. The Grand Abyss Dash was a one-shot trick that basically killed a lot of runs of this game, especially any percent in particular, because the way to avoid it was really slow for quite a long time until like some new tricks were discovered that obsoleted Grand Abyss Dash completely. But I was going to attempt it there just for historical purposes, just fun. Showcase the trick a little bit, and then down here there's going to be an item down this way with this little maze that of course I have memorized, which was just a missile. Okay, now here there's this room, which in the vanilla game in particular this can crash. What kind of key is this? Okay, that's a Torvis key, which I don't like the idea of, but I should get it. I'm gonna go up there and grab that Dark Torvis key, and hopefully, hopefully these enemies don't get in my way. At least not a lot. Are you kidding me? Okay, maybe they are getting in my way today, of course. Okay, I'm just gonna wait out this cycle. There is a fast cycle you can go for here, but I definitely have missed it. Oh yeah, now I have to wait. So, that's alright. These enemies are quite random, and not a whole lot I can do except, like, try and react to the randomness. Especially because they can fire a laser at you when you do this stuff. I'm just gonna carefully go down here, bomb jump up here to get this Torvis key, which I hopefully don't need. Mind you, because the Dark Torvis keys, they lead to Chica, which is a very slow boss fight. Thank you, game. I've already found all the translators. Yes, and there was that hint there, too. Did something... Okay. Okay, I thought something happened there, but nope. Okay, that's the Power Bomb expansion. Don't need that. Should also mark off that Torvis key while I get a chance. Right there. Okay, now in this room, which is called, what's it called? Reactor Core? Wait a second. That was main research, then. I'm having a feeling that this seed might require Chica now. So, if it gave me a hint to that, it could be a red herring. Okay, Amber, Cobalt, Crimson, Emerald, right? Yeah. So yeah, I also have this puzzle memorized as well. And fun fact, if you enter this room from the opposite side, you can actually go out of bounds, because there's nothing that stops you on the other side. It's just something you can fall through, and you end up out of bounds. It's pretty ridiculous, if you ask me, but... So, what now? So now that I've mostly cleared out Sanctuary Fortress... Oh, wait. There was an item down there I could get to. Oh, but then I need Boost Ball. Right, okay. Or I could check Hive Entrance. It's not great, but... It's pretty out of the way, but I... Oh, wait, I can't, because no Dark Visor. I just remembered that. So not having Dark Visor right now is kind of limiting my possibilities a little bit, as well as Boost Ball. So I'm going to need Dark Visor to get Boost Ball, according to this seed. Okay, so I think the next place for me to go after this, reading the logic and what I can do, is probably Torvus Bog. I didn't want to, but at this rate I don't feel like I have too much of a choice. So I would have preferred to... preferred to have, like, other items before going to Torvus, but... that's okay. That's completely okay. I'll just have to be careful to not soft lock myself on accident as well, so... which could happen, potentially. It's not likely, though, because I have quite a few different upgrades now, so it's... I do have a way out most of the time. It's definitely a good thing. Okay, so here I am again in Agon Waste. Actually, hang on a sec. I just remembered something I could get now that I have Light Suit. And on the way to Torvus, I might as well check this out. So at this point, the seed is very open, and it can be kind of tricky to tell where exactly it wants me to go. All I know is that, okay, I need Dark Visor, and I need Boost Ball. I definitely need Dark Visor. Or at least probably need Dark Visor, but definitely need Super Missiles as well, which are somewhere. At this rate, they're probably in Torvus Bog, but... Wow, nice, nice flash there. Again, this is why I have a content warning on the game for, like, when the game goes bright like that and stuff. Yeah, so now I can check out this other item that's over here in Feeding Pit. Which is basically the last item over here that I really need to check, so... You won't see this part of the game for me anymore. Oh, wow! That's another validation item of sorts, Missile Launcher. Which, of course, Missile Launcher doesn't do anything. It's basically the same as picking up a missile expansion, but it's like the unique missile expansion. So, this run is double valid now. Sure, that makes all of us happy over here, right?
There's a lot of things to make folks happy. Would you like to hear another one?
Sure, like donations? Or
how about the British Andy and the BA community donating $304?
Oh my gosh! Wow, British Andy, thank you so much.
Seeing the marathon reach over $3,500 on day 2 is honestly fantastic to see. This donation is on behalf of my community, as we wanted to help raise as much money as possible via subs and bits for such a wonderful cause. A big thank you to all the runners, hosts, and commentators for doing such a great job keeping us all entertained and teaching us the ways of the speedrun. And to all the Fastest First staff behind the scenes for making this awesome event possible. Let's smash that $5,000 goal. Much love, and never forget, trans rights are human rights.
Exactly.
Holy cats, the British Andy and your community. Thank you so much for that super, super generous donation.
And shouts to the British Andy, by the way. I did happen to meet him at VF this past March as well, so it was awesome hanging out with him as well, so shouts to him.
And for bonus points, that does mean that bonus game 2, Sonic R 100%, is a go.
Oh, nice. Congratulations. I'm sure that will be a fun watch. For sure. Sonic's all about going fast, after all. And I was there to watch quite a bit of the Sonic 06 run, and I was pretty impressed, to say the least. Was a great show, for sure. Okay, so right here, what I'm gonna do now, it's not the best, but so here I'm gonna go over to Hall of Honor Dead. I'm actually gonna do this like slightly vanilla as well, which is pretty uncommon to say the least. What is this item? That's just a missile. Okay, don't need that. So here we go. We're going to see another use of the screw tack to screw tack into a morph ball hole. This time I'm not going to go out of bounds, but I'm just going to get into the morph ball hole itself, because this is a bit faster than going all around the Great Temple. Assuming I can do it, of course. So getting pretty close. Still close. Samus, please. Thank you, Samus. Okay, I'm going the right way, good. So yeah, that's a little trick that I did to bypass the super missile door over here. It just saves a bit of time over going all the way around the Great Temple and all that. Or actually, maybe not. Well, in that case, I have another idea. Well, it's time to pull out the big guns, and when I say the big guns, I mean out of bounds, so here goes nothing. So I'm going to try and screw tack into this morph ball hole and then go out of bounds and go around this green door without super missiles. I've actually done this wall crawl quite a few times, so not worried about it. And that's the term that we use for wall crawling to describe any of the out-of-bounds movement in this game. And what was that, Ian?
I'm gonna say, by the way, that super generous donation means that we are just $58 from hitting the 4,000 mark on day 2. We're that close. Let's push there before the end of the night.
Oh, heck yeah. Okay, so here I am just doing some of these aether jumps again. Trying to, at least. Just need to make sure, because funny thing about out of bounds in this game is that the collision is really funky when out of bounds, and it's two-sided. So there are what are called these sticky spots, which I can't actually like properly stand on or jump on, for that matter. So I'm here looking for a suitable standable spot where I can jump, which I believe there's one around this area here. Okay, or we'll just bomb jump across, so that works too. So, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to transition this room right here. Make sure the map is on the correct room, of course. And then I'm going to back up into some more aether, like outside the box of the next room. And then I'm going to go all the way up to the top. This is another way I'm going to get into this room, because this room has an open sky. And yes, in the Echoes community, we call rooms that have open skies rooms. I know.
Aren't they boxes?
Well, they are also boxes, that's true. So what I can do is I can just simply fall back inside. And there we go, I'm back in bounds, no problem. And here I can scan a couple more hints, which would be nice. Oh, that hint would have been useful earlier on, by the way, before I fought Amorphous, you know. Because I found out the hard way Amorphous had a missile expansion. So here there's a green door blocking the way, so I can't go through that. So what do I do instead? I have to go around it, which is basically what you do in the vanilla game. And what I did there to get up to the portal faster is I did another slope jump. You see slope jumps a lot, and in particular there's another slope jump in this next room, which right between these two rocks there's a little slope you can jump up, and another portal you can immediately go right through, and that skips basically that whole room. And fun fact, if you were ever inclined to do a challenge run of this game, especially of the no dark suit variety, you would probably have to do that trick, to say the least.
I'm hearing word that in the morning we'll be opening up our incentive for bonus game number 3, the Celeste Farewell Race. So come the morning, I'd love to see that get filled up real quick. Celeste is always absolutely a fun game to watch. The movement in that is... it's artwork.
Oh, heck yes. I always hear that Celeste is an amazing speed game, and it deserves it, for sure. I've never played it myself, but it's definitely one of those ones that I do want to give a spin at some point, for sure.
It's so hard.
Right? Hey, but then again, I sometimes do minimal checking randomizers, so that's pretty hard too. in this randomizer anyways. Which, I guess I'll mention minimal checking randomizer a bit, because I do sometimes do it. Like, mainly as a challenge, is minimal checking is kind of like no logic, in that the items are almost completely randomly placed, aside from a few, namely Screw Attack, Dark Visor, and Light Suit. But oftentimes, if you do a minimal checking seed of Randovania, like the Echoes Rando, for those uninitiated, of course, you're gonna have to go out of bounds a lot, typically, to even progress. And it definitely is a good flex of those out of bounds muscles, to say the least.
I'm guessing it does the bare minimum to make sure it's not entirely unwinnable.
Not even that. Not even that. It's I've been hearing that most minimal checking seeds are technically beatable, but some are not. Okay, that's an energy tank over there. Do you want to get that? Maybe. Okay, so I might showcase a trick here. Let's do a trick. Okay, so I'm gonna try air underwater, which is a trick where you can screw attack underwater. It's frame perfect because you have to like enter a water line on the same frame that you morph, which I'm trying to do right here. I'll go for this a few times, but if not, all I miss out on is an energy tank, so it's not a big deal. Okay, maybe one more time. Okay. It's alright. But there's another frame perfect trick you can do while underwater, and it's called an underwater dash. So basically, if you press R and B on the same frame while underwater, you can get a lot of speed for seemingly no reason at all, which is pretty cool, honestly. I always like going for it. Because moving underwater without gravity boost is very slow. Okay, oh, there are these hints. Dynamo Chamber. That was Light Beam, by the way. In case you guys didn't know. I found that much earlier on. Okay, so here what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a Bomb Space Jump or BSJ again to get up here early, which hopefully I can. There are like these pretty annoying enemies right there too. I'm also going to activate this cannon, just because. And then there's an item up here that I can grab too. Oh, and there it is, Super Muscles. That is very nice. So that's one of those items that I'm looking for. Just gotta mark it off, of course. So, surprisingly, that Super Missile is almost vanilla. It's literally a couple rooms away from its vanilla location. And then, oh wow, there's the last Torvus key as well. So, guess it's possible we might see Chica in this feed now, to say the least. Actually, we probably will, at this rate. Oh, and there's gravity boost as well. It's like everything I'm finding is in Torvus, which is pretty awesome. Okay, and what I'm gonna do here as well. Oh wait, I can't open that up yet because I don't have Boost Ball. Yay. Okay, I forgot about that. So not having Boost Ball is a little bit of an issue in this seed, that's for sure. But at least I know where it is. That's the good thing.
Do we have time for another donation?
I believe so. There's not too much happening here currently, so go right ahead.
Tuolo donates $59 and says, "Here's a donation to get us up to a nice even $4,000 for day 2. Wait, what? Oh no. 4,001? Well, that's awkward. Guess someone else is gonna have to donate to fix that." Thank you so much for that donation. Holy cat.
Yeah. Thanks so much as well. Like, 4K hype, like seriously, 4K hype right now.
4001. And we're only on day 2!
Right? you are awesome, by the way. Supporting this amazing cause, like, I can't thank all of you enough. I've supported too, as well. Like, I've done my fair share of donating too. So that's an energy tank in there. So currently, like, what I'm thinking with this particular seed is I'm thinking there's a possibility that this could be like vanilla Dark Visor, which, to be honest, would be pretty funny, but we'll see. What's that up there? Missile. So over here, there's Cheka. Actually, I'm not sure if I can get out of here without Dark Visor, at least not easily. So I'm just gonna save just to be just to be safe. I'm pretty sure I can though, because the platforms are still there. They're just invisible. So I might as well showcase Cheka as well while we're here. Yep, game. I know I have all the Torvis keys. Thank you.
Very helpful.
Vanilla. Yeah, very helpful. It's just like the game saying, oh, by the way, did you know some safe zones must be shot to function?
Oh, yeah, no, that was really important. Did you remember that you could shoot some safe zones?
I never knew. Okay, so while I'm over here, I guess I might as well fight Cheka, just because. Cheka is a pretty interesting fight, as far as kind of a long fight, but pretty interesting nonetheless, because it's a very ammo-intensive fight. This is an Ing Hive key, of course, I can tell. And I might as well fight Cheka now, because I have, like, all the sort of indications that this might be a Cheka-required seed. And, yeah, might as well do it. I have, like, most of the major upgrades anyways, so that I need for Go mode, as they say. And this could very well be a Sky Temple key as well. So first off, we start by destroying those 4 things. And yeah, so this is this fight is 2 phases. So there's this larval phase here, which just swims in the water like this. And I can just constantly moving around to try and hit it. And the reason why I scanned it there before is actually pretty simple. Because that allows me to scan to target the soft underbelly of Cheka right there. Preferably getting off a super missile or 2. If I time it right. Which, that was good. And of course, because we have light suit in this fight, which you're not supposed to have at this point, this fight's going to be pretty easy as well. So, as far as like the not dying side of things goes. So I'm just doing like little things there to optimize the fight. So here, what I want to do is I actually want to do Dark Beam, because Cheka is kind of a weird creature, because Cheka is both dark and light at the same time, believe it or not. So both Dark and Light Beam are equally as effective, though I choose Dark Beam because Dark Beam has a slightly faster fire rate, and I do need the light ammo for something else later on as well, so... Which you'll see, I'm sure. So there I was getting off a few of those charge shots. Missed a super there, that's okay. And this is generally a pretty difficult fight to optimize as well. So a super takes off quite a bit of the health, as you can see there. So I'm just continuing on this fight. This fight is quite long. Like this is only the first phase, to say the least. So the second phase is the adult Cheka, which is okay. So here I'm actually gonna do something a little bit different. I'm gonna use a super missile because my dark ammo is a bit low. So, and I'm gonna use a bit of dark ammo for the next phase. Not much, but a little. I'm gonna use a little bit of light to maybe get a bit more. Just a tiny bit. Okay, now I can use some. Now I can finish them off with some dark. Okay, and that's phase 1 of Chica, and then phase 2 is when we fight the adult version. So right here. And I paused because so most effective here is just Dark Beam, and it takes like 3 hits or few hits. Just like that. So Dark Beam is actually pretty difficult to aim, to shoot at Chica, because the Dark Beam shot actually travels quite slowly in the air. So, but I still try anyways. And it works. And it's very fast compared to the other strat that I usually use is Power Beam. And just fire with charged Power Beam, especially when I don't have any dark ammo left. Okay, so that's that, but this fight's not over yet. Because you fell into the dark water, and now they're turning into Dark Chica this time. So, on Dark Chica, the most effective attack is Charged Light Beam. So I'm going to use that, and then it's gonna spawn some little enemies right there that I can use to farm some light ammo off of, or other ammo too, including dark ammo as well. Okay, which way is he facing? Okay, that way. Cool. So, kind of important when I actually gun Chica, that to take note of the direction that he faces. To use a little bit more dark ammo, because I won't really need it. Okay, so he's doing a ram attack right now, so I'm just gonna get out of the way of that. Continue to fire dark ammo. Okay, now I guess I'll use a bit of Power Beam. And now I'm depleted of dark ammo, so Power Beam is probably... Charged Power Beam is the best way to go in this case. How'd that miss? I don't know how that missed. I don't know, because echoes. So that works pretty well as a backup, in case you run out of dark ammo, which I just did, so... Oh, really? Really, Chica? you do this to me now? So what happened there is, it's a kind of a because echoes moment. But what happened there was, Seeker missiles failed to work for a second there, and now I have to do an extra cycle and stun him again, just to get like one, just to get this phase over with, basically. Okay, there we go. Which that can happen sometimes. Seekers are sometimes bad, and they can sometimes miss the targets they lock onto. It happens though. Okay, so here I'm just gonna finish off Chica with some charged light ammo, and hope he gives me Dark Visor. And that's it for Chica, the second of 2. And nope, just a missile. Of course. Of freaking course. That's okay, at least I got to show off Chica, so I'm happy about that. Now I just gotta remember where these platforms are, which is a thing in itself. So I can just use the beam to fire and figure out where they are. So they go all the way around here. There we go. Should be another one pretty nearby here as well. There it is. I have these memorized, I swear. Oh no! Mostly as to where they are. Okay, so to actually get out of this room, what I need to do... I have to head into the next room and then reload it. Reload this room. And that will cause the elevator to turn back on again, and I can escape. Oh, really? Of course, when I... of course, when I screw attack there. That was a completely unintentional screw attack, by the way. But hey, that's fine. It's what I do without Dark Visor. Last platform's like right there. Okay, cool. There we go. See? Platforming isn't hard. What are you talking about? So what I do over here is I just go around the back here, and then what that does... I never mentioned this about Echoes or like just any of the Prime games in general, but basically in these games you can only have 2 rooms loaded at once. So whatever the current room is, of course, plus whatever the next room is that you're going to, so to speak. So what there are when you approach a door in this game, there are what are called proximity loads that typically happen, where the game loads up the next room and gets it ready to load. So what happened there is I got another room ready to load, but it actually deloaded another room. If that makes any sense. It deloaded another room. I can't go that way because I don't have... Oh wait, I do have supers. Never mind. Never mind. Okay, I guess I can check this item here though, first. So currently my next goal is to go back into the light world. Here I'm making a little brief stop to grab another item, of course, because I'm still looking for Dark Visor, which I believe at this rate, if I had to guess, might be in Lower Torvis, but we'll see. I for sure know where Echo Visor is, though. Don't know if I need it yet. Oh wow, there it is. Look at that. Just as I was talking about Dark Visor, there it is. Okay, so now with that, what I can do... So that's a really important item to get. So what I can do with that is I can go and check out the locations of my Sky Temple key hints now. Or rather, first off, I can grab Boost Ball. Second, I can check the locations of the Sky Temple key hints. So, currently we are almost in go mode, believe it or not. I think this is about 2 hours in-ish. Something like that.
Just a shade over.
Yeah, just a shade over, so pretty close to go mode. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go have a look over at where the Sky Temple key hints are, and then see where the remaining Sky Temple keys are. I already know where a couple of them happen to be, but... Which one of them is actually on the way to where I'm going anyways, so that just conveniently works out. And furthermore, this will allow me to see if I actually need any additional items. So, in particular, Echo Visor, which is behind Spider Guardian, which is, of course, a boss that I tried to fight earlier on, but kind of soft-locked myself on it because I forgot I didn't have Boost Ball, but that's alright. So that's currently the next main goal for us right now, is to get Boost Ball and get the Sky Temple key hints that remain. I also should open up this shortcut right here as well. So it's going to be a little bit faster if I have to come back this way. So go ahead and do that. So that just lowers those gates down, makes traversing this area a little bit nicer. You know what, I guess we'll grab this energy tank down here while I'm at it too. Now that I have gravity boost, it's basically free. Costs very little time to grab, and it's good safety. Okay, so we're gonna head back to Temple Grounds right now, and we'll check out the Sky Temple Key hints, but I'm gonna also grab a couple items along the way too. Particularly a Sky Temple Key that I saw earlier on in the seed, which is in the room called Grand Wind Chamber. So we're headed that way now. So thanks to Super Missile, I can go over there without having to do anything super fancy, like out of bounds and the like. So that's the next goal. And they opened up this that light beam block earlier to just make that a little bit faster too. There's an item on the other side of this, which is... okay, I'll get it. Why did my screw attack not activate? Okay, well, we'll do the strat instead. You can also scan dash to get this. Just like that. So that works. That works just as well. And there's a Sky Temple Key in this particular... oh, wait! I need Boost Ball for this. I forgot. I forgot I didn't have Boost Ball yet. Whoops. I mean, another energy tank out of that sure was nice, though. I must admit. So that room is a reason why I need Boost Ball for my Go mode. Specifically. Alright, this Super Missile door is here because I didn't load up before. Another thing that I didn't mention until now is, you see when I Super Missile the door, I actually switch to the scan visor immediately. What that does is that actually saves a little bit of cooldown on the Super Missile firing. So it saves like half a second every time I do it, which is... it's a decent amount, it does add up. And here I charge the beam and get the Super Missile ready to fire out the door, and then scan visor to cancel it, just like that. Okay, so I can check this item over there. If that's not a Sky Temple Key, I don't need it. It is a Dark Beam ammo expansion, though, which... I don't know, might be useful. I think I'll grab it. Even though I don't really technically need it. I'll get it on the way back. Because, as you might be able to tell, I do use Dark Beam quite a bit. Like, just as an attacking things beam. Because it's just that good. Okay, so right here, this is the flying in cache that I mentioned before, that I know for a fact has my boost ball, because there it is. Mark that one off as well. So now we're gonna head over to check the hints at the Sky Temple, so just through this purple door. And then the hints will basically tell us what we need to do as far as Sky Temple keys go. Which, at this rate, I'm willing to think they would be in Lower Torvus. Mostly, aside from really out-of-the-way ones. Okay, so let's have a look at these hints. Okay, so we got 2 out of 9, and then there are 7 more that we still need to find. So let's see. Okay, Meditation Vista, that's Torvus. Pretty easy one to get. Transit Tunnel South, so that one needs Annihilator Beam and Gravity Boost. I already have those items. This one is Poison Bog, that needs Dark Visor, which I now have. Under Temple Access, so that's Lower Torvus Bog again. Grand Wind Chamber, that is one I'm already on the way to get. And then this one. Sanctuary Entrance, okay. That's another one as well. It's kind of out of the way one. And Hydro Chamber Storage. Okay, you know what that means. Hydro Chamber Storage is actually the room where you originally fight Alpha Blog in the vanilla game. So, we're gonna get to see Alpha Blog. So that's fun. I don't always get to fight Alpha Blog. And when I say I don't always, I mean I basically never do. You'll see what I mean when that comes up. Okay, so it looks like all of the remaining Sky Temple keys are in Torvus, aside from this one in Grand Wind Chamber. So that's good. So I'll go grab that Grand Wind Chamber one that I was going to grab earlier anyways. Because it's on the way back to Torvus, conveniently. Another slope jump to get into that portal, just like in the Light World, because Light World and Dark World have the same geometry. So this might not be a bad time to read off some donations if you have them.
Nothing new yet. We do have that goal coming up in the morning for the Celeste Farewell run. We've also got plenty of bid wars that could use some attention and some battles. Everything from the game color scheme on Super Mario Land to the 4 different named bid wars available for Final Fantasy Legend 2. Both runs I'm really looking forward to. As well as the final named bid war for Bug Fables. A lot of ways you can put your own touch on this marathon.
Okay, so here I am going ahead and grabbing the Sky Temple key and Temple Grounds. I believe the last one. I know as well. Echo Visor is not required for the seed either, so that's actually kind of good. So, because I am currently already in Go mode, which is honestly a really good thing. So yeah, and this run is valid thanks to the picking up the energy transfer module earlier too. Okay, so we're just gonna do this puzzle here normally. Which needs both Boost Ball and Seekers. And then Screw Attack does make this a bit faster as well, because I can go backwards along these paths if I need to, which I probably will need to. Spoiler alert. So I'll do that, and the purpose of this is to deactivate a force field that's preventing me from deactivating that barrier. Okay, I just need to make sure that one actually went in properly. So in particular, I use Screw Attack right there to go backwards to this one, because it's going to save me a bit of time having to cycle around a little bit. Like this. Using the cannons is a little bit faster than Screw Attacking. Just a little. Not by much, but enough. Because I don't have to unmorph or anything, which takes like a second.
Not to mention getting shot out of a cannon seems quicker in general.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. And even speaking of Screw Attack versus like other types of movement, like even Grapple Beam. Grapple Beam is maybe obsoleted when you get Screw Attack as far as like progression goes, but if you can grapple across a gap instead of Screw Attack across it, it's actually ever so slightly faster. Because Screw Attack has this whole like wind up and cool down animation similar to the Morph Ball actually, whereas Grapple, it's just nice and quick. So it might save about a second to cross a typical gap with Grapple if you have it, compared to Screw Attack. But here, because Screw Attack's all I have, it's what I use. Okay, right, these guys are here. Oh, I thought I was gonna get 2 of them at once. That would've been cool. But it's alright. Good old charge, dark beam, and missile. Combo takes them out real fast. Oh, actually, I just remembered. Sanctuary entrance has a Sky Temple key as well. So, gotta go get that too. So these two actually route pretty nicely together. Of course, there's some space pirates here now, but not to worry. May just say again that this seed had me go to some pretty out-of-the-way places for stuff. Because only in a marathon, right?
Seems like the theme of the seed, because echoes.
Because echoes. Exactly. And hashtag marathon luck. There hasn't been any hashtag that's never happened before though, so... But who knows? We still have a little bit left.
Wow, not having a that's never happened before in a marathon run? Well, that's never happened before.
Right?
Now I've ruined it. It's Schrodinger's happened.
Yeah, it's now a paradox, right?
That may or may not have happened previously.
Right? Okay, so here we are in Sanctuary entrance. Literally the only reason why I'm here is for Sky Temple key. And speaking of that's never happened before, in some of my practice runs for this, I've had a couple that's never happened before moments. Like, I don't know, the game randomly slowing down to like 2 FPS when it was morphing, or another one where there was... I'm trying to remember the other one now. The other one might have been something along the lines of... Oh yeah, it was when like these pillbug enemies were like floating in the air. Because they didn't appear in the right room or something, and when it happened, I just stood there and I was like, "What?"
I'm pretty sure I was there for the sudden 1 frame per second section.
Yeah, I think you were, Ian. I'm pretty sure you were.
Because I wasn't quite fast enough on the clip button.
Yes. And all I say to why that happens is just because echoes.
Because
Naturally.
echoes. Normally, I blame my connection on that, but no, that was echoes.
Okay, so here I'm just gonna do a bit of a puzzle. I can skip a little bit of the puzzle though, just by through attacking, of course, and like, or just doing this. There is a strat here where I can get this item a bit faster, but it's kind of hard, so not particularly inclined to do it, but I'll just do it pretty much the normal way. Okay, there we go. There's the thing destroyed. Alright. I also really love the aesthetic of this room as well, like the bridge and everything. And then this is pretty quick to go across as well. And of course I know what that item is over there. It's of course the Sky Temple key. Which, by the way, I'm really bad at keeping track of my Sky Temple keys. I always have been. But I'm pretty sure I have 4 right now instead of 2. Let's fix that. There we go. And then the rest of them, I believe, are in Torvus Bog. So we'll go down there. Fastest way there, though. Do I want to go through... Yeah. Let's actually go through, I think maybe Sanctuary is a bit faster, and I can also showcase a bit of a strat as well. That's really useful for Randomizer. Yeah, so I guess we'll go this way. Okay. Since of course I have Dark Visor now and all that. Yeah, by the way, these enemies hurt, but you can also... So yeah, thanks to having Dark Visors and Seeker Missiles, I can just enter through the front here. Usually in most seeds you can't do this, but I happen to be lucky this time around. We'll just finish off this quad. Why not? Okay, or maybe not. Maybe I'll just, I don't know, BSJ. Okay, I'll finish off the quad. I mean, not too bad. And he does get in the way of the BSJ anyways, so it's definitely the more consistent thing to do, for sure. Right, and there we go. Okay, so now I'm going to be headed over to Torvus Bog. Specifically Lower Torvus, which, by the way, has, you might not be able to hear it, but but it does have a remix of a cool song. So yeah, just look it up if you want, or if you're familiar with Super Metroid. Okay, and also at the top of this room, sometimes I get mixed up as to which direction's which. All the time. Even after having played this game for quite a few years, I still get mixed up in a couple rooms. But it's fine. This is fine. Okay, so my power bomb count looks good. I'm gonna need a couple power bombs for this. My health is good as well, so I can just damage boost right through those things. Okay, and furthermore as well, with the Sky Temple key hints, they actually get downloaded into the logbook as well, so if I ever forget where they are, I can just look up where they are. And it's no problem. Okay, so let's see. Hydro Chamber Storage has one. Okay, I'm just trying to remember where they all are at this point. Meditation Vista has one. Okay, so right here, by the way, there's a strat you can do. This is an incredibly useful strat for Randomizer. You can boost over the statue if you have Boost Ball, Spider Ball, and Power Bombs. It's a little bit finicky, but I'm sure I'll get it. With a few tries here. Sometimes I get this first try. Okay, there we are. So I want to head over to a certain, alright. So I want to head over to a certain room, and that certain room is called... It's called Under Transit South. So, or, Transit Tunnel South, rather. I always get mixed up between those two. There's Transit Tunnel and Under Transit, which is like... Under Transit is like the Dark World version, whereas Transit Tunnel is the Light World version. It's alright, though. So yeah, there's this big, it's basically a big circle down here, more or less. Of these three rooms, and one is dark beam locked, one's light beam locked, and one's annihilator beam locked. And this is the annihilator beam locked one, and it has a Sky Temple key in here. And there's actually a pretty good strat to get this Sky Temple key too. So I'm definitely going to go for that, for sure. So currently it's mostly a morph ball puzzle, but there is a bit of a skip that I can do. It's a little bit tight, but I'll try my best. It's not too hard though. So yeah, there's the Sky Temple key. So the skip is right there where I can just do a kind of diagonal bomb jump back up, and then that saves some time from having to go all the way around again. So I'll do this. Oh, oops. Messed it up. That's okay. Not a big deal. And here, this area also showcases the idea of, like, quote-unquote infinite bomb jumps that you can do. Yeah, so there's another Sky Temple key right there. Five, I believe, and Now we just have 4 more left. And I believe 2 are here in Lower Torvus, 1's in Upper Torvus. And it's actually very nice that I have Gravity Boost at this point as well, because... Simply put... Okay, I should... There's one thing I should definitely do while I'm down here, though. I should open up this portal. Because I'll probably be coming back this way once I'm in the Dark World. Or maybe not. There might be another portal that I'll use. Actually, there will be another portal that I'll use. Never mind. Okay. So we got this. So there's a slope jump you can do here on top of this laser. If I can get it. Of course. And yeah, we'll just do that again. Because I like the strat. Provided it doesn't yeet me off, of course. Well, that was pretty close. It's kind of a little bit precise, but it does work. Okay, there we go. So there's a tiny standable spot right on top of that thing. Of course, there are a couple of those, I believe they're called preeds or puffers or something in this game. Like those types of enemies over there. That blow up into toxic gas if you touch them. So here I'm going to scan these 3 things to open up the way down below, and I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't have Gravity Boost right now, because unless you have Gravity Boost to actually get out from under there after you've unlocked these 3 locks, is basically a soft lock. So, yeah, don't want to do that. Not a good idea. Also, this is a really good spot to refill on ammo, too, so I'm gonna do that for sure. So under temple access is this room right here. Which I'm gonna just come here for literally one thing, and that one thing is the Sky Temple key. Then I'm gonna head immediately back to the Light World. Because of course, I knew that was there the whole time. Thanks to checking the hints. So note to anyone who might be interested in doing Randomizer, check the Sky Temple key hints when you get a chance. Because you could be searching, even if you have like all 8. Even if you have all 8 by the time you might want to check hints, just check the hints anyways, because they might be in a really bad or out of the way spot. Okay, that's another one. So now we get to fight Alpha Blog, or rather, trigger the Alpha Blog fight. But this is a speed run, and we don't have time to fight him. So what do we do instead? This. Of course, I'm gonna do some fancy footwork to dodge a little bit. So we're gonna do a BSJ out of here. Oh, he tried to get me too. And with that, you can just exit the room and see you, Alpha Blog. It was nice knowing you. Seriously though, the Alpha Blog fight casually is just like, it's probably among my least favorite fights in the whole game. Just saying that, because his hitbox is for having his mouth open to actually hit him. It's definitely wonky, to say the least. So, I often joke and say the best part about Alpha Blog is not fighting him. Or skipping him. I feel like I should probably save up here. Not a bad idea. Haven't done that in a bit.
You haven't saved enough.
Right? Haven't saved enough what? Animals? Frames? Both?
Games.
Yes. Wait a second, did I never do the pirate fight here? Not sure if I did. Okay. So in that case... Okay, this might not work out. Okay. But I got a backup plan here. Yep, okay. So weird thing about this, there's a pirate fight that happens in the next room. And if you don't do it, like I did, like I forgot to do it, then there's actually an invisible barrier around that door. So, yeah. I actually can't go out this way. And I have to just enter Torvus from the front now, which is, it's alright, but... Yeah, I'll take it. I'll have my ways to get to that last Sky Temple key anyhow, so... I think according to the pace we're on, I think this might be, this might potentially a sub 3 hour as well, so that's pretty cool. At least in-game time-wise. Or real-time wise, rather. Because I should make a note of that as well, because in the Echo speedrunning community, we keep track of things by in-game time, rather than real-time for the most part. So, yeah, that's the whole scoop there. Okay, and this super whistle door that I bypassed by going out of bounds before, I can just open up now. It's faster than going out of bounds. Might as well. Okay, so here I'm just headed over to Torvus Bog from the front. Just a bit of backtracking, so if you have any donations or the like, or anything you want to say, go right ahead.
I've clicked the wrong thing. Nothing new yet. I just want to remind everyone of our cause here. Fastest Furs Fall Festival is raising money for Trans Lifeline. Since 2014, Trans Lifeline's hotline has evolved from an entirely volunteer-run operation into a comprehensive resource that employs trans people working in a variety of roles. Hotline operators have logged thousands of hours assisting the trans community and are committed to being a reliable resource for years to come with your support. For more information, please visit translifeline.org.
Yeah, thanks so much for that, Ian, by the way. And now we're here about to collect the last couple Sky Temple keys that we need to finish off the game. So, hence the category name, 9 Sky Temple keys. Anyhow, so I'm gonna do a trick to get to one of them in particular, so that I don't have to go through as many rooms. Oh yeah, also there was this fight against these Grenchler enemies. Pretty annoying enemies, mind you, because they can fire lightning at you and all that. If any of you are familiar with Metroid Prime, they're basically like baby Shegoths of Metroid Prime, the first Metroid Prime. So yeah, what I can do here is I can actually... There's a gate way up there that I can jump over, and I'm going to try and do that. So, it will take a couple BSJs, but that other one's kind of finicky because the camera tends to get stuck a bit. And now we float over a gate. I'm serious, I'm literally floating right now. If you can see, it might be kind of hard to see on the stream, but especially on the left side of the screen, you can see on my HUD. Just look at the left side of my HUD and that branch. I'm actually slowly floating upwards right now. And then this will take me over the gate.
Because echoes.
Because echoes, or maybe I'll just have to do like a little bit of a wriggle there to get back up, but that's okay. And fun fact too, there's also an out of bounds you can do from up there as well. But yeah, that out of bounds is kind of finicky. In fact, did I mention that in this game you can go out of bounds in over half the rooms? I'm not even joking. You can literally go out of bounds in over half of these rooms.
It's the mark of a good speed game when walls are just a suggestion.
That's right, friendly suggestions at that. So here we're just gonna use Dark Beam and missiles. And wow, that space pirate died instantly. That's great. That was actually a pretty quick fight against those space pirate commandos there. Okay, so here's a room called Meditation Vista. A pretty room, if I say so myself. Also a room that logically requires screw attack. If I can, just time it right, that would be nice. So close. Okay, I'm just gonna wait the cycle out, I think. Okay, there we go. See, it's not that hard, isn't it? Okay, another thing I want to mention as well is I want to shout out someone else as well for this randomizer, and that would be Claris, as well as Dark Zero. So Claris, she's been known as she actually was the one to first start the randomizer itself, like actually program the early versions of it. Like a little bit of the history of the randomizer here. It didn't used to have logic. It just like shuffled the items around without any logic whatsoever. But then later on, later versions of the randomizer started implementing logic, and here we are now. And we're now currently on to version 1.2.2, and that's thanks to both Claris's work as well as to Dark Zero as well. Okay, so we're gonna head over and collect the last Sky Temple key, which was in a room called Poison Bog, which, funnily enough, is actually a location of one of the vanilla Sky Temple keys. So, imagine things being vanilla in this seed, right? Okay, so we're gonna head through here, because this is the fastest way over there. Plus, I've already opened all the doors, so that's no problem. So right down here is this flying Incash, who holds the remaining Sky Temple key. So that's officially all 9 Sky Temple keys, and then we can go to the Sky Temple now, beat the game, recover Light Aether's lost planetary energy, and destroy the Dark World and the Ing once and for all. So now I'm just gonna head over there and, of course, if you have anything to say, now's a pretty good time, because there's gonna be quite a bit of backtracking here, so, of course, I'm gonna use the save station to get there a bit faster to the ship.
I do have something to say, in fact. I'd like to thank DVOXS for that $43 donation, taking the total to a nice even 4,044, which I suppose is technically an even number. Technically putting that donation towards file name Bid War for Bug Fables, calling it Seinfeld.
That's a great name, honestly. Okay. Anyways, here we are off to the Sky Temple, which just need to make a final trip into the Dark World. So, at this rate, I should probably mention the items in this game that you always need for Go Mode, assuming you need to do the final bosses. Which, by the way, recently in the randomizer, there was a setting that added where you can actually skip the final bosses, and it's like, okay, you just get the 9 Sky Temple keys, or however many Sky Temple keys, and enter the warp, and you're good. But if you need to fight the final bosses, you basically always need Screw Attack, and you always need Spider Ball. First off, you always need Screw Attack to get to the actual room where Emperor Ing is, because there's currently no known way to go out of bounds in the Sky Temple itself, which consists of only 3 rooms. So you can't do that as far as it's known, anyways. You know what? I'm gonna grab the Star Camo expansion. I think it would be useful enough for later. Might as well grab it. I haven't found any other ammo expansions. So by the way, a setting in the randomizer that I did pick as well is I decided to split the beam ammo expansions into both dark and light. So instead of, in the vanilla game, you get beam ammo expansions which give you 50 light and 50 dark. for each one. In this, they're light and dark ammo expansions, and they give 100 beam ammo, 100 dark or 100 light, respectively, for whichever one. So yeah, that's definitely something. So I was talking about before what you always need for final bosses. So you always need Screw Attack to actually get to the final bosses, and you need Spider Ball for Emperoring too, which we'll see the Emperoring fight pretty soon here. So that's the confirmation. We've put all the Sky Temple keys in their place. Now we can ride this beam of light up here, which, by the way, fun fact, you don't need Light Suit to ride this beam of light. You can do it with any suit, actually, because it just behaves like a loading zone. It's weird, because echoes. Okay, I should...
Just a missile anyways.
Yeah, of course. Just a missile. Hashtag just a missile. But remember, folks, some safe zones must be shot to function. So yeah, this is the exact room where you absolutely need Screw Attack, right there, just to wall jump up those wall surfaces there. Okay, and here we are about to do Emperoring. So the first phase of this is known as the Eye phase. So the idea is to get rid of Emperoring's tentacles, which here I'm just going to use missiles because I have a ton of them, and I need to use my beam ammo for other things like actually damaging the eye. Which, right here, I'm going to switch to Annihilator, and I'm just going to spam it. When I run out, that's okay, because I have super missiles. And that was a nice one cycle. Yes. That was pretty heckin' good. I'm happy with that. Okay, this is phase 2 now, which is the phase where you need the Spider Ball. This is called the Chrysalis form. And then this is going to be the last use of the power bombs in the run as well, to destroy multiple of these tentacles at once. I actually have to get close to them first to actually cause them to come out, first of all. Okay, it looks like there are 2, yeah, still 2 left. Okay, that was actually a really good Emperoring 2 as well, and then Emperoring 3, and this is how Screw Attack is broken as well, because already he's lost some health. Look at that. So if you Screw Attack his hitbox behind him, it actually damages him. And you can do that until he is defeated. Otherwise, this fight takes forever. Okay, I think one more should do it. There we go. And that's Emperoring. Hopefully you enjoyed. Honestly, that was a pretty clean fight too. At least definitely for the first couple phases. Okay, and now we have an escape sequence. It wouldn't be a Metroid game without an escape sequence, right? Time bomb set. Get out fast. But it may occur to you that we have a lot of time on that timer there, so it's not going to be too free. We still have to fight, I don't know, Dark Samus on the way out. So yeah, this is Dark Samus 3 and 4 right here. And there is a skip that you can do in this fight called Dark Samus 4 skip. I will try and go for it. It's not that consistent all the time, so I don't expect to get it, but we'll see. So here, after she fires this phase-on beam, she's going to land, and then I'm going to attempt to Screw Attack her. Like that. And then she's going to go somewhere. Yeah, there she is. So this is Dark Samus 4. The skip goes kind of like that, but... yeah, unfortunately I didn't get it, but that's okay. So here you just collect the phase-on particles that she launches out, and fire them back at her. But not at the wrong time, otherwise it heals her, which I found out the other day. So here I'm actually going to switch to Dark Beam because Dark Samus, despite her name, is actually a light world creature. And I hit her as soon as possible because she goes back into this orb.
Or
she goes back into the orb. Oh, how'd that miss? I don't know. But yeah, she goes back into the orb faster. So that's all good. Okay. By the way, I'll remind you too that time is coming up in a little bit. It's the final hit to Dark Samus, so look out for that. It'll probably be when she's in this orb. And another fun thing is, Ian, pick the beam that I take into the credits with me. Which one? Power, Light, Dark, or Annihilator? Your choice.
well, I think it's pretty easy to say that we've been annihilating our goals.
I know what you mean by that. Alright, here we go. Annihilator beam. I'll fire off a burst at her there. Okay, one more hit. We'll finish her off. And time will be on the last hit when we enter a cutscene. I'll let you know. Okay, almost there. And time!
Fantastic work.
Yo, well, I'm happy. It looks like did in under 3 hours, so that's great.
Well under 3 hours, in fact.
Yeah, that was honestly, that was my goal for this run, was like, I was secretly hoping for sub 3 hours, real time in a marathon, so honestly, that's
on
great.
On our end, your time is 2 hours, 49 minutes, 59 seconds.
Oh wow, so just barely sub 250. That's pretty good, especially considering this was like a longer seed, and then I fought two of the major guardians, and then they ended up not having anything but missile expansions like Chica and Orbis. Because I was like, okay, I'm just gonna showcase these, and it was for the best, I think.
Backtrack to one, there's an item at the other, it's a missile. Yes. Backtrack to the first one, it's a missile.
After all, this is a Metroidvania. Specifically, it's a Metroid, so what's Metroid without backtracking, right? Oh yeah, and fun fact as well. So the beam that I got you to pick a beam at the end because the beam that you pick actually carries through to the credits. So if you see, Samus has the Annihilator beam equipped right there. Believe it or not. And another fun fact about that cutscene too, you didn't see it in here, but if it did happen, I would have pointed it out. If you beat the game with either Vera suit or Dark suit, it still shows the light suit morph in that cutscene for whatever reason. I don't know, because echoes.
I was gonna say, echoes seems like a good reason.
Yes, the reason for anything you can't explain in this game right off the top of your head, it's just because echoes. And there's the Annihilator beam again. So Samus did return the Dark and Light suit, but she has decided to keep the Annihilator beam as well as the Dark and Light beam. And the Power beam. Whichever beam you take to the credits with you.
It's a souvenir.
Yeah, of course, right? From the Luminoth. The Luminoth are no longer at war with the Ing anymore because Dark Aether is completely gone. The world of
Samus
Aether.
took all the weapons.
Yeah, and of course this expression from her. She's like, see ya, bye.
Deuces.
Right? Doesn't even look back. Samus is such a good character, barring, well, one game that I do not want to talk about.
Hey, the pinball game is valid.
Don't worry, it's not the pinball game. The pinball game is absolutely valid, Ian. I'm talking about the game that doesn't exist. Oh yeah, and by the way, another thing about the credits too, change from the vanilla game right here in the randomizer. So this is actually sped up like about 4 times compared to the vanilla game, because the credits in the vanilla game are super slow. But that's an option you can set in the randomizer also. So I'm gonna say another thing. If any of you are interested in trying out this randomizer, just Google Randovania and see what comes up. So far, the current version is 1.2.2. So that's the latest version so far. I hear there might be another one coming out. So I'm not too sure exactly when, but I've been hearing rumors. Yeah, so Randovania right there, that's the spelling. And also, what's the in-game time and the percentage? The important thing. 44% and then 224 in-game time. So yeah, pretty good. Sub 230. Alright guys, well looks like that's it for me. So I just can I do a few quick shoutouts in general?
Go for it.
Okay, so first of all, shoutouts to everyone running this marathon. You all are amazing, and especially the tech crew, everyone. And shoutouts to the Metroid Prime 2 Echoes speedrunning community as well. Particularly, if I had to pick a few, Claris, Dark Zero, Diceron, Draconif, and Cell the Dragon, who I was hoping I could get on commentary with me today, but I know he'll be watching this VOD, so and I think he'll like it. So yeah, that's that, and I want to say just thank you all for having me, and let's continue to raise money for this awesome cause. We don't have to stop at just 4K, right? We can do better than this.
We got 2 more days of this awesomeness coming up.
That's right. So I challenge you all. Anyhow, everyone, have a great night.
Have a great night. Thank you so much for